Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another episode of Technical Alpha, episode 97.
Holy crap.
Had some technical difficulties, guys. We're still getting used to YouTube. And then on top of that, we tried this before. When Adam was setting up, he forgot to plug in the camera, and then we would have realized that I had my other capture card in. So then when we went live, there was no way for me to get video feed with our current capture card, so I had to shut down the computer, hook up our main capture card, and...
First try is what you're saying.
First try.
First try. Yeah. It all happened on the first go.
Yeah.
All right.
We also changed up some audio settings, so hopefully there's no more cracking.
Yeah, we're seeing if on the YouTube side anyway. On the RSS feed, there was never a problem.
Yeah,
so that was never...
They got it good.
They got clean. It never happened. But on YouTube side and on the live stream, there was some weird cracking and stuff. So we're trying a solution that I thought about, and hopefully it works. We've no idea. It's not perfect, but we're going to give it a shot and see how it goes.
We're going to do it live.
We're doing it live. Get those grind books out there. Maybe they'll stand up this week.
Maybe.
Maybe they'll stay up. It could happen. Mr. Black.
Yeah.
It's another week. It's March 14th of 2019. It's tax season.
Yep.
I just did mine yesterday.
Fun.
I hated every moment of it.
Fun.
But it's done.
Fun.
And then I'm going to hate it again when I pay them.
Fun.
And then I'm just gonna, I don't know. I said this. I can't remember who I said this to. It might have actually been when I was over. I spent dinner at my parents' place the other night. Every time I do taxes, I feel like I literally just did my taxes.
Yeah.
Like even though it's a year, I feel like every time I complete them, I have just already finished taxes. Mm-hmm. And then it happens again.
Well, that's because rape never feels good. And so when it happens, it starts to bring up memories of bad things that have happened in the past. So, it is what it is.
Non-flashbacks.
Other than that, week has been very bleh. Just another week. Baby Kai is still sleeping throughout the night, so that's good. He's got this thing where I feel like, so in the mornings when I first wake up in the morning. Say what?
The mic cut out?
No, we're fine. When I first wake up in the morning, Kayla comes in, hands me the baby, and she goes and she showers and gets ready and does all of the things that she needs to do. And Kai basically screams and cries and yells. And then Kayla picks up Kai, and he's totally fine. And then I go downstairs. I see Kai for a few minutes. I go and I come downstairs here. I work anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. I go up and down the stairs like once every hour and a half. Give him a kiss. See how he's doing. He's usually sleeping. And then at the end of the day, when I'm done, I go and grab Kai and I get fussy Kai again. And he just cries and cries until he has mom. Mom takes him. He doesn't cry anymore because he got titty.
Exactly.
And then he goes to sleep. So the quality time I'm having with my son right now is usually him screaming in my face, or I can get him as he's sleeping, but then I don't want to move him around or do anything crazy with him because he's actually sleeping.
Yes, it's a ticking time bomb.
Needless to say, I'm looking forward to the time where he's not.
You got a while.
A few weeks old and salty and just hungry and shits and he has gas all the time.
It's still going to be a while.
It's going to be a while.
You got some time.
But I'm looking forward to the day where I can just go, hey, son, how's it going? I'm all right, Dad. That's fine. But instead, I get salty Kai.
Well, I mean, put it this way. Your wife gets salty Kai instead of just occasionally. She gets salty Kai all the time. Mm-hmm. And then has to put up with it when he wants to sleep on her 24 hours a day. 7 days a week.
Yeah, pretty much.
And babies, I was, again, when I was over, obviously, mom and dad were asking about how Kai's doing and everything, and so I'm, telling them about everything, and talking about when I was over here the first time, holding Kai or whatever, and I had held babies in the past, but I hadn't held like a newborn before. Like, I've held, like, 6-9 months, 1 year, whatever, but not newborn.
Yeah.
And something that I never realized until I held Kai was that newborns literally are their own nuclear reactor. The amount of heat that a newborn child radiates.
Yes, it's real.
Could power
you can feel
cities.
It. You can literally feel it.
Well, you hold you don't have to touch them. You can just hold you could warm your hands on a cold winter's day if you came in and just went.
He's powering up, man.
And just hold your hands over the child. So I remember when I was here, I think it was last week, we were doing the podcast, and I went upstairs after we were done the podcast, and we were in between doing stuff. And, or it was just before the podcast when I was getting the water. And I see Kayla holding Kai, and she's over by the microwave, whatever, and she turns around, and she has a thermometer in her mouth. And I was like, what are you doing? She was like, I thought I had a fever. I was like, no, you just held Kai in your body for 4 hours, and he radiates enough heat.
He heated you up.
That you feel like you have a fever.
Yes, you are currently 107 degrees. Yeah. Might want to get that checked out. Yeah, so that's been pretty much my days. You know, it's been an experience. I mean, I've had before I had a kid, everybody on the stream and family members and everybody. So it's funny how this works. For anybody that hasn't had a kid, and say you're in your late 20s, your early 30s, you haven't had a kid yet, and you've got friends and family, especially like your very close family. You were talking your mom, your immediate family.
Yes.
Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister-in-law. Yeah. People that are really close to you, they all say this shit. They all say, "Oh, a baby is such a blessing. It's great.
Absolutely.
It's not that bad. It's yada yada yada. Like oh, when I had my kid, he just slept and blah blah.
It's rose-tinted glasses.
And then when you get pregnant,
yes,
okay, when Kayla's pregnant, or your wife is pregnant. Then the story starts to change a little bit. Then they start telling you the truth. Then they start saying, yeah, it's tough. Like, you're either going to get fucked and the baby's going to cry all the time, or you're going to have a good baby, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be this. But they don't tell you really much about that before. Now that Kai is here, and he's only been here now for a few weeks, right? He's turning a month soon. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy. Like, time's flying already. I think he turns a month next week.
Yeah, he would.
I can say this as we have a good baby because Kai sleeps a lot, and I'm down here for half the day, so I don't really deal with him. But then again, I don't hear him cry all that much either. Whenever I go up, they're usually both passed out.
They're usually just sleeping. Yeah,
sleeping. I can say this: having a baby and for what I'm going through it's a great feeling, it's rewarding, but at the same time, it also sucks. Now, the reason why it also sucks, and it's not saying, that I regret having a kid or anything like that by any means. It sucks because it completely changes the way you live. And in a way that like nothing is the same anymore. When you want to eat, like if the baby is pissed off or doing what, you got to like drop that. When you wake up, how many times you wake up, being able to just sit down and enjoy television or like a show that you want to watch. It's funny. The thing that I was thinking about yesterday when I'm sitting holding in Kai after I was done working, I go upstairs and I usually just spend about an hour and a half with them before they go up to bed. And I'm sitting there and I'm holding him. He's quiet for about 30 minutes or so. And then he gets hungry. He wakes up, and it's probably because I'm kissing him and moving around, taking pictures and and he starts crying. And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, Game of Thrones starts next month, and how in the fuck am I going to watch and enjoy Game of Thrones the moment it starts, right? And have an hour or an hour and 20 minutes of silence, of just like, shut up, kid. I'm watching my fucking show. I don't want to hear you for an hour and 20 minutes because I need it. That's like, those are the type of things that I think of. I'm like, fuck. Like, why did I give myself in that shit? But then when you hold him and he's there, it's like, it's worth it, but it sucks. It's like it's one of those things, and this is just the beginning. Like, what happens when you want to go on vacation? Like, before I could just be like, "Yo, I'm just gonna go on vacation. I'm gonna go to Vegas."
Are these like thoughts that never crossed your mind before you had a child?
Well,
because they're pretty much like when you have a child, the immediate thought, if you don't know that your entire life now is to live for the child,
Yeah.
then you've already done fucked up.
Well, the thing, here's the thing. The thing for me is I thought about those things.
Yes.
But I didn't think deeply into them because throughout the entire pregnancy, in the back of my mind, I was like almost pretending I wasn't having a kid. It didn't feel real until I was literally like holding the baby in my hand, or he came out of, my wife's areas. And then it was like, it was real. And then now that you have him home, it's like, damn, man, everything changes now. Everything changes. And it's good, but it's challenging and it's tiring. Like to work all day and then have a baby and stuff and put somebody else first. Cause that was always my thing. I'm a selfish motherfucker when it comes to like my own time. Like I love to be able to wake up when I want to wake up.
Of course.
Like to a degree. I like to be able to go out and go for a drive for 30 minutes and do whatever the fuck. I like being able to go to the movies whenever I want without having to like ask for permission or like see if it's okay or like whatever. So it's a shell shock, man. It's a shell shock.
It is.
It's a fucking shell shock. So that's but it's all good, man. It is very rewarding. And when he's quiet and looking at me, it's the best. But when he's pissed off and he's salty, I'm like,
well, then obviously, yeah, it becomes a problem.
Please be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I just need to change this to live chat. There we go. All right, so Mr. Black.
Yes, sir.
There was a lot of gaming news that happened this week. There's tons.
A lot of gaming news.
Like a lot. In fact, I actually had to pare down a little bit on how much we had here because there was too much. But we're going to start with this one. Last week, I was talking about how it was there was some rumors floating around of Master Chief Collection possibly coming to the PC. I predicted that shit a couple weeks ago. I was like, you know what? I feel it in my bones.
It's coming.
Master Chief Collection's coming. I didn't think it would literally happen as soon as it did. That's probably a little cold now.
It's like drinking
ice cold.
This.
Yeah. So that officially got announced. We managed to hit that off. So they're going to be showing more off. I'm going to imagine E3, but there's some big. The big points of it are this. They recognize that the original release on the Xbox was pretty broken. Thankfully, I never experienced any of the bugs when I played it on my Xbox, but it was well known to be riddled with bullshit. A lot of bugs going on with the Master Chief Collection, and it ruined it for a lot of people. So they spent apparently an inordinate amount of time fixing bugs and getting it ready for the PC, and building it as much as they could for the PC, which is nice. But they're releasing it on the Windows Store, and they're releasing it on
Steam.
Steam.
Steam. Can you imagine if they were releasing it on the Epic launcher instead of Steam?
Well, that would have been bad. That would have been really bad.
Yeah.
That would have been really bad. But yeah, we're gonna get Halo Master Chief Collection on the PC. The fact that it's on Steam is pretty mind-blowing. That's actually a very weird move to me. I don't know how I feel about that. On one side, obviously I'm pleased that it's going to Steam because it's going to reach more people. But at the same time, I'm a little confused about it because Microsoft is already dancing the line between how much do we put on the PC. Excuse me, that were originally exclusives for the Xbox. And so in my mind though, it still made sense to keep it all within the family. You had the Xbox like app or the the Microsoft Store on the PC. You had your Xbox consoles. It made sense. Putting it on Steam is like putting Halo on Steam. Halo is your flagship franchise, and you're putting it on Steam. That's a move that I did not personally ever see coming. If anyone said they ever did, they'd be lying to you.
Well, that wasn't the first thing that came to my mind. I'll be honest. Like I didn't think anything of it.
Well, it's not that I don't think anything of it. I'm just. Well, I do think something of it. I think that it's odd. I would love to know what that means for the future of PC releases of first-party Xbox titles. Does that mean now that, like...
But this is a really old game. Like, this is really old.
But they're completely remastering again everything for the PC, plus Halo Reach on top of all of that.
Yeah, it's all really old content, though.
And putting it out...
It's not really exclusive. It's not really exclusive anymore. Like, it was...
Well, it was always exclusive, so only on the Xbox.
Yes, but I mean, it was exclusive then.
And the only Halos to have ever been on the PC was Halo 1, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's just... and because it's Halo... And we know Halo Infinite is coming on the PC. Does that mean Halo Infinite's going on Steam?
Oh yeah.
So that's what I mean, though. Does that mean that, like, moving forward, where is the line for Microsoft first party titles? Are they all just going to be on Steam now if they're on the PC? And they're just giving up the dream on the Microsoft Store, or like how are they? Like is there only some stuff that's going to make it to Steam? I just find it kind of confusing. Like, if it was a third-party title that was on the Xbox that they were bringing to the Microsoft Store, okay, yeah, Steam. But your first-party titles leaving the Xbox store on the PC seems... Just seems odd. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that, like, more people are going to be able to play this game. More people are going to want to use Steam than the Microsoft Store. It's just an odd play from Microsoft to me.
I don't think, to my knowledge, this isn't the first time this has happened. I mean, there's been lots of exclusive games that have gone kind of wide, has there not? Like, at one point, I do believe, like, Final Fantasy titles were an exclusive thing. I want to say... even I think Rockstar games at one point were exclusive, but I could be wrong about that.
Well, I don't think Rockstar stuff had like timed exclusives for a long time, and Square Enix only started bringing stuff to the PC themselves. But Square Enix is a publisher, right? Like this would be like Sony putting like the Uncharted series on Steam. It just seems odd.
Well, Steam, I mean, Steam is still PC, so I mean...
No, I get that, but like it's not even within their own ecosystem. Like they're going to be paying Steam a cut for their first-party flagship game to put it on Steam.
To sell copies.
When it's also going on the Microsoft Store.
It's to sell copies.
I mean,
Halo. I mean, we talked about this last week without going into all of it. Halo needs this. Halo needs this like a motherfucker. Not only does this get people, it got me excited because I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna play through all the games, and I don't know if they're gonna have dedicated multiplayer service for each one of those games, or how that's going to work.
Well, that's another question people bring up is Steam going to be separate from the Microsoft Store player base, which would be one of the dumbest things they could do.
Yeah, I can't see that happening because now we're in a world of a lot of cross-platform stuff.
Yeah.
So I can see, people on Xbox being able to play against people on Steam and so on and so forth. I mean, hell, even Realm Royale does that. But I think this is the play. I think this is a good play. By Microsoft, put it on Steam. It's going to allow a lot of people that probably wouldn't buy it. Let's be real. The Microsoft launcher is fucking
it's garbage.
Absolute.
Everyone hates the Microsoft Store.
It's
bad.
It's embarrassing.
It's really, really bad.
It's literally embarrassing.
Yeah.
I mean, the Discord store is better than that. Fucking shitty ass. It's already bad enough. If you want to play Apex, you got to go on the bullshit ass Origin.
Yeah.
That's garbage. Still better than Microsoft. I mean, the
Microsoft Store. The problem with the Microsoft Store is that they've got like 2 or 3 apps that roll into the Microsoft Store.
Yeah.
And so it's not a unified storefront because they're trying to like make it a hybrid thing for people who aren't playing games, who are just using it for other shit. And you got everything from like shit tier mobile games and onward all appearing on this like one place, and it ties into like the fucking Microsoft app, and then you've got like your like just separate friends lists and like all this weird fuckery, and it's just bad. It's convoluted and terrible. Absolutely. And it's been plagued with issues for almost every game that they've released on it. So if anything, I'd be interested to see how, if there are issues that appear on the Microsoft storefront that don't appear on Steam, or like how that plays out.
That might happen. I also think what's going to happen is the Microsoft Store sales are going to get fucking massacred.
Well, they're going to get killed.
They're just going to get...
Nobody's going to buy it on Microsoft storefront.
If you've got a choice.
You're going to go to Steam.
You're going to Steam every time.
Every fucking time.
Every single time that there was a time.
Like, the only thing they come up is like if they have some exclusive little weird shit tier content that you only get in the Microsoft store, which is probably going to happen.
Probably.
So my other concern is that the way that they've been talking about this is it sounds like they're not releasing the Master Chief Collection as a collection, but instead releasing it as individual games.
Yeah. The gouging. I saw that too. The gouging.
So...
my guess is probably going to be $10 a game. If it's anything more than that, it's a whole lot of nope.
It's difficult.
$9.99 per game, or the bundle, the entire Master Chief Collection bundle, probably is going to be the full price of a game. That you might save $10 if you buy them all or something like that. There's no way they're going to gouge $40 per game. I mean, even at $19.99 per Halo. That's insanity. And
yet it wouldn't shock me.
That's
because here's I guess where all of this is money, but it's also money because they've had to put a lot more work into this. If this was just they took the Xbox version and ported, it was done, then they could probably justify just releasing it for like $49 as the Master Chief Collection. Sell Reach as a separate thing because that's a brand new outside of the original package deal for like another $19 or something, and then call it a day. But the thing is that they basically had to rebuild everything that they did for the PC again, spent a lot of time fixing all the issues that exist on the console, making sure they're not happening on the PC, understand that everyone's going to want to play multiplayer across possibly 1, 2, 3, and like they could be needing to spread.
I doubt it. I think what's going to happen is there's only going to be
there'll be a couple,
one or two that have multiplayer capabilities. I think all the rest are going to be campaign only. There's no or local multiplayer. How insane would it be if all the games had their own, like, because
Halo 1 Online wouldn't make any sense.
No, I think it would.
Halo 2, 3, Reach.
Yeah. And I don't even think all three will get it. My guess is it's going to be Halo 2 or 3, probably 3 and Reach.
Yeah.
Because or none of the old ones and only Reach gets it. Mainly just because it does two things. If you put out more than 2, you're diluting your
player base.
Your player base.
Yeah.
You're gonna have so many thousands of people that are gonna be hardcore about 2 is better than 3. You know, the elitists, or you're gonna have mixed emotions about streamers. Which one do I stream? You got Summit playing 2 because he loves 2. You've got Shroud playing Reach because he's god at Reach. You've got Doc playing 3 because he just seems to like X, Y, and Z part of 3, and you've got this fan base that are going, which one are we focused on? Which one are we gonna celebrate here as a full Halo community and get behind? I think they need to be ultra focused for multiplayer, and they're gonna piss off some people because there's gonna be people that are butthurt if they don't get a 2 multiplayer or a 3 multiplayer or a Reach multiplayer. But I think Halo needs to put their foot down and say, listen, this is the one we're gonna do, and don't forget, guys, we have a new Halo coming out. You're gonna get a whole new because they don't want to have their things in too many pockets, hands in too many different pockets. So what I would love to see from them, and I'm sure that we're gonna get it, is on Steam have one bundle for the price of a AAA title to have all of them. If I can pay $90 Canadian, right, or whatever it is US, $69 or whatever it is, to have all my Halos, I'm in. But if they're gonna go, hey, you're gonna pay $20 plus per Halo, or you can get the bundle for $119.99, they're off the rocker. Like they're smoking it hard. So let's just fingers crossed that we get a big bundle for a AAA title price. I think I'll be in. I know I'll be in. I think a lot of people are gonna be in. I think this is good for Halo. It's gonna get people hyped up. Get going for the Halo that's coming. And if they're doing this, my wager is the new Halo is going on Steam.
Yeah, there's also been talk, I don't know if it's been absolutely confirmed, but there has been talk about people that already own the collection on the Xbox One getting it either at discount or for free or some shit on the go for the PC. Yeah, which would make sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, if they did that, first of all, I would even call them fucking crazy. because the amount of time and money that they put into this thing would be kind of strange to just give that shit away for free.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I hope I still have my copy laying around. I can't remember if it was stolen back when the house was broken into or not, but I suspect the aftermarket for Master Chief Collection is about to go through the roof. It's going to go from a $30 game to a $60 game.
Easy.
Now.
Overnight.
But yeah,
And if you got one sealed,
See here, this is the scary thing for them when they release this stuff, is that without a hell of a lot more information about like how, for example, multiplayer is going to work and whatnot, and what's really going to be possible with this PC release, what changes, what doesn't, is it really just the exact same experience? What exactly is happening here? People are speculating like crazy, and they're getting super hype about shit that they don't even know is in the shit.
Yeah, which
so
is
when
gonna
it
set up for
launches and it
disappointment.
doesn't,
it's gonna be bad.
they're gonna feel the fucking pain. And if they wait until, I don't know if you want to wait until E3 week to do your conference, because here's my guess, is that we're gonna wait until E3 conference week. Microsoft's gonna go out there and parade around their dick.
That's next month, right?
That's June.
Oh, I thought it was in April.
No. So
can't wait that long.
You get second week June usually.
Yeah, they
so
can't.
you wait that long, you do it. My guess is that they're gonna pull like a quasi, Respawn Entertainment. We're gonna assume that they know we think that like Reach is coming first and the other stuff is coming piecemeal or something or whatever. But like I can just see it in my mind where we get on the stage at E3 and they've got the guy out there and he's doing his spiel and he's talking Halo and Master Chief and shit. They might even have a fucking juiced up 7-foot tall dude in a fucking power suit walking around out there. And then they're gonna say, available right now, go download it, it's fucking and then they're gonna, at least one of them.
Okay. All right. One. Yeah.
At least one is going to be there. I don't know which one, if it's Reach or Halo 1, or maybe it's both. But I think that that's how they're going to play it, because they're this looks like they're building as much possible
Again, the hype train going.
hype for both this and then the fact that Infinite is coming. Is they're trying to get people to, like, Halo on people's minds in as positive.
Well, it's working right now.
light
but
as
if
possible.
if they wait if they don't say anything else until E3, they could be setting themselves up for disaster, unless they have a crazy fucking plan and they're just gonna blow everybody's minds. Who knows?
Yeah.
Like if they come out and they say it's all free.
Yeah.
Like if they come out and say, hey, with your pre-order purchase of Halo Infinite, you're gonna get all of these for free. Then I'll just be like, oh, and you can play them now.
Yeah.
Then
Pre-order Halo Infinite and you get everything and just go.
Then I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay, but that'd be an insane amount. That'd be a huge bullet to bite financially for them to do something that crazy. But I mean, that'd be amazing.
Well, you know what? Maybe that costs them less than blasting out more marketing in other ways.
It's very possible,
and
that'd be huge
because Halo Infinite needs it.
Can you imagine?
Halo Infinite needs it.
Can you imagine how many pre-orders these motherfuckers would get?
I'm gonna be honest, Jeff. Halo's pretty dead right now.
Oh, it's on life support. We talked about that last week. Can you imagine the amount of pre-orders, bud? If they say you go and pre-order this motherfucker right now on Steam or on the Xbox or Microsoft shitbox store, wherever you do it, you're getting all of it unlocked now. Go play it in all its new glory.
I'm there.
And there's no multiplayer. You're playing all the campaigns. You can play Reach multiplayer. Play all the campaigns. Go.
I'm in.
Oh, well, they got my credit card number.
I'm already in anyway.
Period, but that would get me.
But now I'm
that
really
would get
in.
me super excited because not only would it basically be free to play because I'm going to buy Infinite anyway. Well, I shouldn't really say that, but there's a good chance I'll buy it because I'm a streamer. I'm going to play it. I'm going to try it out. But for the casuals and the lovers of the old schools weren't necessarily going to buy Infinite, they're going to buy Infinite. They would pre-order Infinite just to play the old schools and their new glory on the PC. And then they're going to go, oh, wait, I have this Infinite thing too. And then if they try it and it's actually good, whoo, boy. So we'll see.
Boy!
I'll slow clap them if they pull that one off.
But right now, as it stands, just like you and I are doing, as we sit here, all I've heard on every stream I've gone to since the announcement is people talking about Halo, talking about playing it, streaming it, what games they're going to be doing co-op and shit with, what games they're going to be like killing multiplayer
Bro,
in.
if there's co-op, you want to do all the campaigns?
Of course.
We'll run the gauntlet on these motherfuckers.
Unfortunately, we have no idea how that happens. What's possible?
Isn't it, you think it's possible that they have no idea what they want to give yet, and they're waiting to get
I hope not.
The world's opinion. Like, you know what? We're going to see what they say.
It's a little late in the cycle for that one. They announced this shit last year, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a fucking bold move.
I don't know. I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic about Halo, and I'm sure each week leading up, we're probably going to get a little bit more information, or there's going to be some sort of rumors. Let's just hope it doesn't go sour, because right now, this is as positive. This is the most Halo's been talked about since, like...
There could be 3 Halos in the top 10 on Twitch all simultaneously.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's huge for the brand.
Yes.
I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Massive.
And for like at least a week.
Yes. Massive. So we'll see.
Crazy.
We'll see. What's next?
Borderlands. That's a game that nobody's heard about in a hot minute either.
Yeah.
Looter shooters. Very hot right now. So hot.
Like my baby
Like
Kai
your
hot.
baby, just super hot.
Radiating heat.
Radiating heat. Except, in the form of a battle royale. Well, Borderlands 3 seems like it's going to get announced in, I think it's a couple weeks. March 28th is what they're teasing right now. Gearbox Studios. They put out an image with like a little like road sign thing in March 28th on it. It just looks like some Borderlands ass shit. And really, what the fuck else are they going to make? Well, guess what? There's 2 games.
Don't tell me it's a battle royale, because if it is, I'm getting up and I'm walking
nobody
out of
knows,
this fucking room.
But the second one looks like it's got some robot stuff going on there or some weird shit, but it's I guess not Borderlands, but maybe it's like an offshoot of Borderlands. Either way, we're getting some announcements 28th. We'll know more.
If they go
when that
Borderlands
happens.
battle royale, bro, I'm
checking out.
I am so gone.
I'm going to be honest with you. I already checked out of Borderlands general.
Dude, we tried out Borderlands 2 and we just checked out.
Yeah.
We were just like, this isn't.
I liked 1.
I loved 1.
And then I played 2 and I went, this is the same game, and I'm going to be honest with you.
It's not as good.
I don't feel like grinding for weapons again.
No. It was exciting. Like it's one of those experiences that
It
when
works
you first
once.
Works once. It's like that thing that I went to with Kayla in Montreal years ago, like 8 years ago. We went to a restaurant called Noir, and for those who don't know, that's black in French. Noir. And,
all 3 of you.
Yes, and and basically, for those that don't know what this is, it's a restaurant where you eat in the dark, in pitch black.
Yes.
And all the servers, everybody's blind, and so not only
Everyone's naked.
they could be. So when you walk in, the only person that wasn't blind was the person that like takes your reservation and like collects your money and stuff.
Right.
Everybody else is blind. So you go in, you walk in this lobby. You there's menus. You let them know what you want.
Mm-hmm.
You pay, and then basically, like somebody blind comes out, and they link up with you, like your arm. You link up,
Take you to your table.
and they just walk you to your table. It's pitch black. You have no idea where you're going. And you're just following around like you're blind, and you could have and you don't even adjust. It's so fucking dark in there. Your eyes,
Vanta black.
Your eyes don't even really adjust. Like they adjust like very minimal, but you cannot.
You can't
eventually
see shit.
what's going on now.
Yeah.
And then you eat, and what it does is it enhances all of your other senses.
Of
so
course,
your
yeah.
senses of taste and
Smell.
yada yada. It's one of those experiences that you do once. You don't go and do it again, because you end up eating with your fingers, or you're struggling to fucking
Poke yourself in the eyeball.
It's really like you're sitting there and you're trying to like find your drink, and like you can
knocking
tip
it
it over
over.
and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because you're enjoying it for the first time ever, and the food's pretty good, but it isn't like life-changing food, and it's not really like, it's basically for you to see what it's like to be blind,
Yeah.
but also to just use your sense of smell and taste. And it's cool, but that's it. One time, that's the show. That's Borderlands. That's literally Borderlands. You walk in, you play it, like, wow, this is unique, this is fun. artistically, this is really cool. This is a
Claptrap was funny for the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then that's the show. And
I don't need more Claptrap.
You do it again. You walk in there. You remember that you had a great time. You walk in there. You go, you know what? But I had the great time the once. I'm not really feeling like my perceptions change. I know what's coming, and since I know what's coming, and it's really not even as good as what it was the last time, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm done.
So, I don't know. Borderlands 3 is going to have to be an altered experience enough to get me interested in it again. Because if they're just going to tell me that it's more bullet sponge with farm for guns.
I'll go play Anthem if I want to go do that.
Yeah, like there are many other games that I would probably consider to farm guns for before I would go back into Borderlands, but we're probably in the minority. There's probably a shitload of people just bouncing off the walls. Give me more Claptrap, please. I need an entire game centered around Claptrap.
Sure.
Just give me that and fucking Jack and Moxie and just fuck it. Just those three talking to me for 5 straight hours. Yeah, there's people like that. Straight to the main vein.
Great.
But,
don't let me hear Battle Royale. Just don't let me hear it.
You avoid that. We're good.
I'll be happy.
We've made it.
Yep. Go and sell a bunch of copies. I'll be happy for you. I do not want to see Borderlands Battle Royale. I don't.
Maybe we'll be interested in the second game that they're announcing because it might not be Borderlands related, and that'd
so what?
be
They're
cool.
selling 2 games now.
So they're announcing 2 games. Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
So that would mean that they're selling 2 games. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Instead of just Borderlands, now they have Borderlands 2.0 and some.
Yeah. No, I'm probably gonna pass. And if the second game is a dedicated battle royale, I'm out.
Left 4 Dead. We just keep continuing to bring up these old ass games, but Left 4 Dead is it's pretty good.
Yeah, I like
Left 4 Dead 2 also really fucking good.
I actually like Left 4 Dead 2 more than Left 4 Dead.
So if you don't know the story behind Left 4 Dead 2, is that the studio that was behind that game wanted to release it as kind of just an expansion to Left 4 Dead 1, and then Valve was like, "Fuck no, this is a full game. Go fuck yourself." And then they left, and Valve released Left 4 Dead 2 as a standalone game.
And they don't do 3s.
They went out. No, they don't do 3 of anything.
No.
And this studio put out Evolve, and now they are coming out with a game called, and they just announced it the other day, Back 4 Blood.
So
not Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Back 4 Blood.
So,
and they are stressing as much as possible that this is totally, definitely, absolutely not Left 4 Dead.
So they broke their own rule.
Except for the fact that everything about it is Left 4 Dead outside of the title. So that's a thing.
Cool. Well, just call it Left 4 Dead 3, and you're going to make more money.
Well, they don't own the name, so that's probably a problem.
Okay.
But they have a 4 in the title. It's a number 4. You know, it's literally it's Left 4 Dead, but Back 4 Blood.
Left 4 Dead. Is that what it is? Left 4 Dead?
No. That's what the original Left 4 Dead is L like left and then 4 and then dead, right? But this is Back 4 Blood.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Back 4 Dead.
No, that would be hilarious. I bet you a lot of people are going to call it that though.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. So that's coming.
Cool.
I don't know when exactly, but it's a thing. You can look it up.
I'm not gonna lie. That game that we got sponsored to play was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was like,
which is
there was a lot of stuff
Dead.
that could have happened there that would have been nice, but it was
for what it was.
It was good. Yeah, I had fun
with that.
So I mean, and Left 4 Dead was super hyper popular. So if they can even a little bit capture whatever it was about Left 4 Dead that grabbed so many people in the past, I don't know if that genre of game will stick with people right now. They are mentioning that they're obviously adding in different mechanics and trying to expand on the formula to get it a little bit further beyond what Left 4 Dead was. Because they don't think likely either that if they just released a clone of Left 4 Dead and call it Back 4 Blood that it's going to sell. So they've got to do something. So
it'll sell.
Whatever it is, we'll see. And I'm interested to see if it keeps any kind of traction, because the market is looking for some real specific shit right now, and I don't know.
Yeah, but you know
if
what?
Left 4 Dead is it.
You know what? I'm gonna make a bold statement.
Do it, Miss Cleo. Hit me.
I'm gonna make a bold statement.
Give me a tarot card reading.
I'm gonna make a bold statement, guys. and in the comment section, hell, even in this chat right now, and Adam, you can go ahead and chime in as well. Before I make that bold statement, though, patreon.com/flagtv. Head on over there. If you guys are liking this podcast, Go and show some love. Go and do that. Also, if you're watching this live on YouTube, you know what helps us? I'm just going to say it. Hitting that like button. So if you're watching this live, there's 136 of you and there's 21 likes. If you ain't hitting up Patreon, you can at least hit us up with a goddamn like if you're enjoying the motherfucker. Because you know what? You know what gets you noticed on YouTube? Hitting the notification bell, hitting like buttons, subscribing, and having the content creators basically beg you like a bunch of cucks to do that in order to get noticed. So I'm going to be that guy, and I'm going to say, please, hit that like button. I'd love to get 50 likes out of 140 of you that are coming in and out of here right now. And if you're watching the VOD, hit the like button. Now, you know what I think what I'm going to say here is very bold.
All right, Miss Cleo.
So what is this called?
Back for
Back
blood.
Back for blood. Back for dead. All right, we're going to call it Back for Dead. All right? Look at that. 52 likes. We love you guys. Let's get to 70. Back for Dead. So what did you just say about the industry here? They're very hyper-specific.
They're looking for a very specific thing in multiplayer, yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Video games right now.
Video games
Suck dick.
You're not wrong.
Almost every fucking multiplayer game that comes out.
Yes.
Even Apex. The
Yes.
fucking cool battle royale that does it better than everybody else. I get it. The game, in terms of a game, it's fucking shit. They're all shit. There's no substance to any of these fucking games, and you don't get that tingly feeling. You don't get that excitement. I'm speaking on my behalf, okay? And y'all can agree or disagree. I'd love to have a discussion about it. But seeing as though it's desperate times for video games, especially for content creators, and for the people that love to watch content creators, let's face it, most people do.
I'm waiting for the bold statement here.
Most people do. You can come out with Still for Dead.
Left for Blood.
Blood for Dead. You can come out with fucking any game possible from
down to fuck
from a reputable company, from a reputable publisher. We're talking EA. We're talking shit Blizzard Activision.
Yeah.
We're talking Steam, Valve. We're talking any of them. Electronic Arts. Fucking all of them. They could come out with any multiplayer game and it's gonna fucking sell reasonably well. And if it has any type of replay value, I mean even the smallest, it's gonna sell really well. Because we're so fucking desperate that we'll latch on to just about any shitbox game that comes out.
Yes.
And it will sell reasonably well. And if the streamers get on it and they can make some money, or they're getting paid by the publisher and they're pulling in hundreds of thousands of views, it's gonna fucking sell millions of copies. They're gonna make a bunch of money, and the vicious cycle of shit tier multiplayer, no substance, bullshit games will continue to come out. It's just gonna happen. So no, I believe that when they come out with this Left for Blood for Dead shit, it's going to sell well because I'm gonna buy it. You're gonna buy it. The cucks and the fucking that are watching it are gonna buy it. If it's good or if it's bad, we're gonna buy it. If it's good, great. It's gonna last. It's gonna sell even better. If it's a garbage game, they made their money. That's it. That's the show. It happened when we started getting into the alpha. This all happened in this alpha bullshit stage where you could just play some fucking sandbox
Shout out to
shit.
Steam for
Fuck
promoting the fuck out of that.
Fuck you, Steam. You could go and you could get this free to play or pay $10 or $20 to get in on this alpha bullshit that wasn't even a game. It's a concept. It's a way for a company to make millions of dollars. And throughout this process where we've been fucking groomed, and I'm going to use that word now because I watched that fucking Oprah
Michael Jackson
shit. The grooming word. We've been groomed
like a horse
over the last 4 or 5 years to lower our fucking standards. Like, we're lowering our standards so fucking low that now we're at the bottom and we're fucking scratching like we've been left for dead.
Yes.
And we're just trying so hard to find a game that makes that magic of playing games again. That fucking excitement to wake up in the morning.
It's like Stockholm Syndrome, but like gamers.
But games.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Listen, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but that's how I feel. They're fucking shit, dude. If you go on Twitch right now, And let's be real, whatever's on Twitch is what's popular in the world. You go on Twitch right now, just about every fucking game in the first 2 rows are old news. They're not even that fun if you're really honest with yourself. League of Legends, AIDS, absolute AIDS. It was cool to subject yourself to AIDS in 2013, 2014, but 2019 AIDS? No, you're already dead from it. You know, you want to know what people have been telling me? I said, man, and you get this urge too to play League because at the core of League, it's a decent game. Like it's a decent game.
Unfortunately, the community comes with it.
Is AIDS. And you know what somebody told me yesterday? Because or the other day.
You know what that's like? It's like when you get married.
Yeah.
And the girl that you're marrying is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But the mom and dad,
horrible.
Fuck the in-laws. Horrible.
Fuck.
And you marry the family. Anyone who knows that shit, you can live on the other side of the world. It doesn't matter.
So you know what you do? You avoid them like the plague.
Yes.
You see them on Christmas.
If you
really want to see them, that's the only time you deal with it.
Smile and nod.
That's it. And you do it for your wife.
Merry Christmas.
I love you. And that's it. So
Turkey.
So you know what somebody told me the other day? Because I play a little bit of Minecraft. I said I had the urge to play some League of Legends because it was on Twitch. It's always in my face. And then I said, but then I remembered how AIDS the community is and how a shitty experience it is.
Oh, yeah.
If I want to be dropped an N-bomb or an F-bomb or anything, just have people fight for no reason, you just go play it. Somebody said in my chat, they said this, League of Legends is a great game. Just go as soon as you go in, Jeff, this is what you do. You mute everybody. I said the last thing that I want to fucking do when I go into a video game is have to mute my entire team.
The last time I played League.
Game.
That's what I did the last time.
Now everybody's doing their own fucking thing, and so people are yelling, and then they're yelling at people that can't even hear what they're saying because they're muted, and there's no team base. So anyway, there's League of Legends. Okay, you've got Apex. Everybody even the word Apex wasn't even in my fucking vocabulary until 3 weeks ago. And now I want to murder the word. I fucking hate it. I hate the word Apex. I fucking hate it. It's sure, if that's the best we've got. That's the best we've got. We've got PUBG. Who the fuck plays PUBG except for hackers and the Chinese?
Not people in India, which we're going to talk about later on as a topic.
Great. What do you got? You've got Hearthstone. You've got RNG Stone. Who the fuck plays Hearthstone these days?
Kriparian?
That's it. And the fucking casuals that are playing it on their iPads and phones. That's the show. And then what else do we got up at the top? Huh? We've got Anthem. That shit ain't even at the top anymore. That shit died 3 days. What else do we got?
Dota?
Dota 2? People are playing Dota chess. That's what it's coming to. Some Dota chess game now. That's what people are playing. They're playing Dota 2 in a chess form. And you've got CSGO. And CSGO ain't going anywhere. CSGO is just going to do what CSGO does. Those are our options. That's it. Oh, Fortnite. How could I forget about Fortnite?
Fortnite.
Do I need to say more? This is in Fortnite. I pass. It's a hard pass for me. If I want my Avengers, I go to the fucking movie theater twice a week or twice a year. That's what I do. So video games right now suck ass. What happened to the days that when you're on Twitch, you had a couple of competitive games that were actually fun and exciting to watch, where there were some stakes involved, and not everybody and their dog was consuming this fucking free-to-play bullshit that is just in your face all the time and getting slouched and gouged by every microtransaction there is possible, or playing some bullshit alpha shit where you literally have to go in there and role play like you're 8 years old and have imaginary world and people in hopes that they come in and they imaginate and they do all this stuff with you and it's a wonderful good time and that's it. But if not, you're just running around in the forest shooting things that are fucking bumping into walls and they don't even make no sense. That's what games are. When are we getting quality back? When can we have a game that I get actually excited about and I play it and I'm going, this is life-changing? What happened to that? Am I just an old jaded ass motherfucking gamer that just can't have fun with games anymore? Or do games really suck?
Okay. I know you're like up here. I'm gonna come down here you can keep it up there if you want.
I'm gonna come down a little bit.
All right. Just a little bit, though.
I'm going to come down.
You can keep it a little bit, though.
I'm going to come down a little bit.
I'm going to go down.
Come down a little bit.
Look. Here's my take on this whole situation. We can't even remove live streaming from from this conversation because live streaming promotes games to such a degree now that it kind of dictates where, at the very least, certain segments of the video game market go. So here's my take. Games have gotten too complicated. The scope of mechanics in games has gotten too complicated. And when you do that and you make a multiplayer game out of it, the quality of the game with the complexity of it most of the time goes down. StarCraft is a rare example of a game that is built very well, but is mechanically incredibly complex. But even StarCraft falls victim to balancing issues that people will bitch and complain about ad nauseum until the end of time. It just, you can't avoid it. That's why when I was mentioning, we were talking last week about Halo Infinite and how does Halo Infinite break into the multiplayer market right now. You break the mold by using an old mold.
Exactly.
You go into the fucking pottery burn and you go out back and there's an old mold and there's almost no design to it. It's just a fucking bottle.
It's just a mold.
It's all there is. It's just it. There's no fucking fancy shit on it.
Nope.
There's not like a fucking huge like stopper with like a flowery fucking whatever. It's not gonna sell for like $40,000 in a liquor store when it's all you take it.
Yep.
And it stores water.
Yes.
And occasionally, if you're lucky, you can boil the water in it.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Give me that mold.
Just that. Take that out.
Give me that mold.
Slap some clay in it.
That's it.
Kill them.
Yep.
Glaze. Done. Not the fucking flowery extra fucking bullshit that we get that then also leads into endless microtransactions, 1,001 fucking ways to monetize, 1,000,001 ways that the game is supposed to play out, but it all devolves into the same fucking three things anyway. It's like in Apex, like any game like that, you have all this variability, and what happens? You still end up with people running around with a wingman and a peacekeeper, and that's the show. And if they don't, like, the only people not doing it are those that don't find them, or they're just making a mental effort to not use them when they come across them, full stop. But when you get into Halo, and it is set weapons everywhere, and it become almost point capture on stuff like swords and shotguns and rocket launchers. But no, like in terms of a match, it's just a death match.
Yes.
They become like overshields.
You know where shit is.
The point of contention that creates interesting combat situations to gain control for advantages over things. But it's simple. There's like 5 things. But it becomes complex because of the interactions to interact with those 5 things.
Amen.
Not having 50,000 things to pick up and use.
I don't need fucking power-ups and spells and 40 different guns with 50 different add-ons that make the guns super OP or not OP. I don't need any of it. I don't need to be able to climb walls and zip line through things and fly through midair and get a fucking gauntlet to blow up my fucking enemies and float with balloons and Silver Surfer surfboards. I don't need any of it, bro. What I need is just a normal game. That's what I need. I need some of that replays sent in by the fans, some normal games. There's a reason why that we get so fucking excited about remakes. You know it's pathetic? When we're excited about remakes. Do you remember back in the day when there was Xbox 360, PS3, and we used to get new games that came out we'd be excited for? There's no there was no talk about, if we just got another Resident Evil 2. It's like, nah, give me Resident Evil 3. What's this Nemesis about? I want to play that shit. It was no longer, I want to go back 10 years ago. I want to go back to the PS1 days. When you're at PS2 or you're at PS3 and I want to go back to the PS2 days. It's like we're moving forward. There was like leaps and bounds. It's like we hit this brick wall in like 2014, 15 and the shit just it's been downhill. We get, you know what games have been great in the last year for me? Resident Evil 2 remake. Oh, you want to know what gets us excited? Halo remakes here. Final Fantasy VII remake. And that's already looking like that could be bad and a money grab. But we get excited about that. We get excited about the old. We're not getting excited about the new. And the only way we can get excited about the new is if they come out of bumfuck Nowheresville and disrupt the industry like Apex did. That's it. Because if we heard about Apex a year ago and we got to play a demo or whatever, it wouldn't be this hype train that it is today. It just wouldn't be. So that's why I'm salty about games right now, and even more so as a content provider, and I'm sure you feel it too, is there's no magic. It's hard to even have fun playing these fucking games that are just so monotonous.
So there are a lot of single player games that have been good in the last couple of years.
I'm not saying that none exist. But in terms of what people want to consume and what you can get excited about,
and this is where I think you and I together are separate from a lot of people that were probably listening right now or watching or whatever. Is that we are old and jaded.
We are.
So there's no two ways around that. But at the same time, like it's difficult for me to get excited about games, even if they are what a lot of people might consider to be very good.
Some people think Apex is the second coming of Christ. So,
it's
or Fortnite.
It's difficult, and the reason why, and we've talked about it before, is that it doesn't really matter because games aren't made for us; they're made for people younger.
True. It's true,
and it's a lot more mobile stuff, and it's a lot more stuff that those kids have been, basically groomed to get used to stuff like microtransactions and paying like for 1/2 of what you'd get in a game 10-15 years ago.
Yep.
All that is just reality, and it doesn't mean that there aren't fun games out there, but it's harder to get excited even when we're supposed to be excited. So because we've been burned a lot by games that just fall victim to the trappings of all the other bullshit that leak into single player games from the multiplayer side. So we had kind of like a couple of waves where it was and people who were into this shit long enough, you'd remember that there was the first real, for me anyway, downfall of where we are now is when every game needed to have multiplayer. So there was a time where single player games were single player, and if they wanted to have multiplayer because it made sense and they had time and the budget to make it happen, you would get it. And then there came a point around, I want to say 2009-ish, where every fucking game had to have multiplayer. It didn't matter if it was good multiplayer or bad multiplayer. It had to have multiplayer. And the one that always stuck out to me as being the biggest what the fuck was BioShock 2. I still to this day do not understand how somebody at corporate wanted to force BioShock to have a multiplayer fucking mode.
That was a weird guns, like you were running around in caves and shit and shooting people.
It was dumb.
Yeah.
Because it was BioShock, which is a single player narrative experience.
I just want my BioShock.
And at no point did anyone say, I want BioShock multiplayer. Never.
No.
So when that started happening,
truthful statement, ever said it. No one ever said it.
That was never uttered in the English language.
No.
Or any other language for that matter.
Worldwide.
So we get this multiplayer and everything shit. And now we're in the wave of microtransactions and everything shit. Which was bred out of multiplayer and everything, then the free to play model, microtransactions, which all of them eventually, in some weird way, trickle down into a lot of the single player games as well. And a lot of games that you'd hope to get made don't get made anymore because a company like in the movies, if you go to somebody, if you go to like Warner Brothers or whatever, you go, hey guys, I got this dope movie idea and it's going to make $500 to $600 million. They go, fuck yourself. Where's my $1 billion movie?
Yeah.
That's the new minimum entry point.
Yeah.
Is $1 billion.
Oh, you can't get there? Give it 3D.
Yeah.
Give it IMAX 3D.
Make it fucking happen.
Put a $6 extra price tag on it, bitch. Get me there.
So you get that happening in the games market. Square Enix, when they first put out Tomb Raider, sold like 7 million copies. They were like, yeah, that underperformed. We don't know if we're going to continue it. People were like, and they were comparing it to like Call of Duty.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
And that's your problem. So you're getting these studios, we're getting down to a point where less and less studios are capable of focusing specifically on single-player content or hyper-focused multiplayer experiences that are afforded budgets because the people that are eventually going to publish this shit, unless they themselves are the publishers, aren't hearing it. They don't want it. We talk about Apex a lot. We've talked about this fact before, where Respawn went out of their way to ensure that EA had zero input. They said, you guys are going to go the fuck away. We're going to make a fucking video game that's going to do well. Because if we listen to you,
we're fucked.
It's going to go fucking bad. Do you want some examples? Take a fucking hot look
at your catalog
at your catalog
God knows
for a while. Battlefront?
Huh?
Battlefront 2?
Star Wars?
Fuck yourself.
Star Wars just...
We're going to go make a good video game. And we're not going to say shit about it and release it. And when it happened, big shocker.
Adding on to that, did you hear the news about Ninja and Apex?
Oh, we're getting okay. I'll just dump right into that right now.
Go right into it.
Ninja, for his handful of hours of playing Apex and his social media posting, of which I don't follow the guy on Twitter, so I wouldn't know.
I think he's got several million followers.
$1 million-ish dollars.
He got paid a cold mil
for a handful of Apex hours and some social media posts. That if people ever questioned how important
we've been saying this shit,
the live streaming world is for developers today.
Oh, it's everything.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
That's it. If you don't get it now, $1 million for a handful of hours and some social media posts for a single individual.
That's just one stream.
And keeping in mind, that is cheaper for them than traditional media advertising.
And it's direct.
It's direct.
The conversion rate on those eyes is astronomical, especially when it's a free-to-play game. Because all you need to do is say, hey, it's free, guys. Just go try it out. Ninja's having fun. I mean, how can you not have fun when you're making $1 million? How could you not? I could play the worst game ever, bro.
I'd be super happy about it.
And radiate like Baby Kai. It would just be amazing. So, it just goes to show the amount, and I'm gonna be real. $1 million.
It's underselling them.
It's under
bad.
You know what? I'm just
be like $5 million.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. I'm sure Ninja's wife is a great woman. I'm sure she's amazing. Like, she obviously is strong. They've done something right. But if all you can get is $1 million for what he can do for a game, make a game. You need to step up your managing skills, because $1 million is quite literal pocket change for the amount of eyeballs that man can bring in to a game. It's literally nothing. That's something that somebody like Summit should be getting, on that level. And it's even and that's even kind of being, to some degree, I mean, if Sea of Thieves hasn't paid out Summit at least a cool $1 for what he's done for the game, that's crazy. I would have just stopped playing it. But what Ninja could do, can you imagine what Shroud's paycheck could be from somebody like Apex? $1 million. I mean, you think about that now. And if because Shroud just really blew up. I mean, he's been big for a while.
He really blew up.
Now he's arguably bigger than Ninja in terms of viewership.
He's north of 100,000 subs now.
He's probably got more subs.
Yeah.
His viewership is probably bigger now because of Apex. It just fits him well. If Shroud wasn't paid at least $500,000 to play that game, and from here on out, if I was Shroud and Shroud's manager, or whoever's running the books for him, There's no reason why a guy like that can't get paid $3 to $5 million to promote a game from here on out. You know, I actually don't know, and I don't want to make assumptions because I could be completely wrong, and I'm not about to say what I think these streamers are doing or what they're not doing because I have no idea. But if I was a streamer at that level of the big dogs, I wouldn't even be downloading these games unless they were paying me big dollars. Big dollars. There is no, like, for example, say if Blizzard came out with a Battle Royale tomorrow and they hadn't paid Summit, Doc, Ninja, Shroud, any of the guys from TSM. I'm sure the TSM brand as a whole probably knows what they're doing because they've been around the game a long time, and you know. But a lot of the streamers, who knows? They all might be super business savvy, and I'm sure quite a few of them are. In fact, I know a couple of them are really business savvy. But I wouldn't even be playing that game. My manager would be going over to people over at Apex, people over at Blizzard, people over at Epic or wherever, and saying, listen, if you want my talent to play this game in front of millions of people and have a fucking blast doing it, and you want me to put on social media, and you want all those YouTube clips, because remember, now you've got a bunch of people on YouTube stealing other people's content and making as much money off their content in compilation videos and other, not adding anything to it, literally just siphoning clips from Ninja or whatever and putting it on YouTube and making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. If you want my brand to be on that game and have all those clips circulating on YouTube, on Twitch, everywhere, on Reddit, all these places, you need to pay millions. Or I'm just not doing it. Because the streamers got to wake up. Not all, some of them are woke as fuck and they're cashing in. And they smart as motherfucker. But some of them all need to wake up. Even the big guy, the not big guys, the guys that are up and coming, the relatively big guys, the ones that are getting 5,000, 10,000 current viewers, that's huge numbers. Especially when you're streaming for long periods of time and you've got all the social media and everything that's going on. They all need to start knowing their worth and going out and making those $1 million deals. Because something, we're seeing it now at Ninja. It's kind of like the Conor McGregor effect in UFC, where all the UFC fighters are getting donked. They're getting fucking wrecked by the man. And Conor McGregor comes in, says, nah, motherfucker, you're paying us like boxing pays, or very damn close to it. And now all the fighters are starting to get these huge sums of money because they know their worth. And of course the companies aren't just going to come out and say, hey, yeah, Ninja, how would you like $1 million to play our game? The companies aren't doing that. They're just hoping that he'll download the game, play it because it's popular, because he'll get some viewers. Because
they get kickback anyway.
Exactly, but they could get the best of both worlds, because the publishers in this day and age need us, not me, but they need those guys more than what they need Facebook ads or Twitter ads or TV ads. Sure, they still need some of those things to some degree, but man, the money's where it's at. So the people that like what Adam said, don't think that these publishers, how big of Twitch plays a role on the success of these games is absolutely, it's ludicrous. They make and break these games, because if Shroud and Ninja are both like, oh, Apex is a bad time, not as many people are going to play it. And if they just go back to playing PUBG or Fortnite, those people that are watching those people are going to go back to playing those games because they want to feel connected and part of their community. And when you have a community of millions and millions and millions, you are a big chunk of the revenue that's going to come in or not come in for that game. And the streamers need to start knowing their worth. So yeah, Ninja got paid $1 million. Should have been a lot more. But congratulations. Fuck, that's a nice payday.
I mean, at some point, maybe they're just taking like anything and everything that they're hands on to get like repeat customer service or some shit. Like maybe they figure that they're going to get paid again for like a second round. Maybe they're going on volume. I don't know. But you're right. $1 million is like, I agree. You're getting underpaid, crazily underpaid. But at the end of the day, you got paid $1 million to play Apex for like 3 hours and did whatever. So like, does it even matter at that point?
It doesn't matter.
He's just doing it. He's just winning. He's just winning.
Get paid more.
Yeah, you can win. You can win harder.
You can win harder.
But he's definitely winning.
Hey Adam, how much you get paid to play Apex?
Not $1 million. Actually, I get paid less because my community is so disinterested in seeing me play Apex that I might as well not even play Apex.
The struggles.
It's just the way it is.
That's just the way it is.
I'm not, and this is going to sound bad, but I'm not female, so I can't make up for the fact that I'm just like above average at Apex.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not a big enough hook.
No, you need tits.
So I need to at least be attractive to look at for the majority of people, which are all men.
Yep.
So, there's not that many gay dudes out there on Twitch that
not that you're going to make enough money on it, no.
It's just not going to happen.
No.
So, if you're if you're above average and you're playing it, and you're a female and you're attractive, you're doing better for yourself.
Pretty good. You want to know what's
Everyone
funny?
else needs to be pretty damn fucking incredible.
You can actually be really, really good. You could be like above average.
Yes.
And still get no viewership.
And still get no viewers, yeah.
You need to be God. You need to be the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
You need to be like the guy that's going to come and take Shroud's lunch money. And he doesn't know it yet. But there's like a group of fanboys that are like amped up because they know it's coming. They know that there's going to be a fight at 3 o'clock after school at the flagpole. And they just want to see you come up and get him. You have to be that good. If not, you're fucked.
And I'm not saying that there's a bunch of female streamers taking my viewers or some shit.
No.
That's not the case.
No, he's saying.
It's just the reality.
The reality is.
It's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
Is within the competitive gaming scene, the hierarchy is, are you an absolute god and entertaining at the same time as a personality? Then, are you just an absolute legend? Top 3 in the world.
Yep.
Then, are you really, really good and entertaining?
Mm-hmm.
Then it's just a fucking clusterfuck.
Yep.
And then it's, are you just above average and people are looking to feel good about their gameplay?
Yeah.
Like that's where you're at right now.
I mean, if you want to measure it in dick, it's like either you've got 9-inch cock.
Yeah.
Or you've got
playing softball with your dick.
Yeah. Or you got a 7.5-inch dick.
Yep.
Or you've got 6-inch dick.
Yep.
Then you've got 5-inch dick, and then if you're under
enlarged clitoris,
and then if you're under 5, well, Godspeed.
It's a rough go.
That's the show. That's the if you want to measure it in dicks. For those that just don't, I'm sure everybody can get it. Or not have a dick and have tits.
That works too.
That just works.
And I was watching a lot of Apex last night, actually, while I was doing my taxes because I had an inordinate amount of time. And I'm looking at the page, and I'm not gonna lie, and not that they would probably care, and I'm not trying to get out there and defend the streamer or anything like that, but I physically felt pain. And Munition was streaming. Ann is a fucking ridiculously good streamer. Really good at games. Amazing production value on the stream, entertaining. She's like, as far as like girl gamers on Twitch, as far as I'm concerned, she's the gold standard.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You go to the browse page, and Amaranth is got I'm learning Apex in the title, and she's ahead of Ann, and I projectile vomited a little bit. Yeah. That is why, like, it's just reality. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want to watch Amaranth play Apex shittily, that's fine, because she was wearing, I got clicked on it, she's wearing her usual, like, fucking, whatever the fuck, and playing Apex, and cool.
I mean, she's having a seizure over a keyboard and mouse.
So that's cool. But it hurts me because
I know
Ann is entertaining.
Yeah.
Ann is very good at the games that she plays, Apex included. Everything is there. Production, everything's there. She's interactive with her chat. Like,
she's
everything's
classy.
She's fucking
She's classy. She's classy. She's classy.
That's just the reality of it.
Sucks.
That's just the reality of it.
It's the world we live in, bro.
So
it's rough. Sometimes, though, when you throw up in your mouth, you just got to swallow it. You just got to swallow it and move on. Have a glass of water, wash that down, sprinkle some mouthwash, and move on. That's it. It is what it is.
It's just
hurts. It hurts. Yeah, it's painful. I could say a lot of things right now, but I'm not gonna.
Google apparently coming out with a game console of some
I
kind.
heard about this. Don't do it, Google.
Somebody released a render of the controller based on the schematic that was publicly available. Because if they're applying for patent or anything, that you get that. And it looked terrible, like really bad.
That's gonna fail.
The Ouya?
Yes.
Can you remember the controller? I think you have mine because I gave it to you.
You gave it to me.
It's a numbered one and everything.
Yep. It's back here somewhere.
If the controller looked like that, except possibly even sharper. One of the most uncomfortable. Yeah, that's lit. Okay.
Ooh yeah. Ooh yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it's really uncomfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't feel natural. I guess for your big ass hands, this actually might not be the worst controller ever. But for anybody with normal human hands, this is a bad time.
Oh my god, bro. Just go to Google and type in Google gaming controller and go to images and it'll be the first one.
Google gaming controller.
And if that is in any way accurate,
I don't want it.
Based on the schematics.
Yeah.
In any way.
You know what
Look at that controller.
You know what that oh fuck. You know what that looks like?
It looks like this.
No,
but even more uncomfortable.
No, you wanted it. This is I'm gonna put it into for those that are listening on just via audio right now on the RSS feed, and you can't get to your computer or whatever. I'm gonna describe what this controller looks like for you, and you'll be able to know exactly what I mean. If you took the PlayStation 2 controller, okay, and you stuck it in the 90s. On the time when we used to put body kits on your shitty Honda Civic.
Like the wide body kits?
The wide-ass body kits.
Yeah.
The ones that kind of looked like they wanted to be futuristic, but they just look fucking danky. It just looks like cheap and boxy and ugly. This is basically a PlayStation 2 controller with a 1992 Honda Civic body kit on it. And you sprinkled some rainbow on top, and you added a G in the middle. That's it. That's the controller. It's gonna fail. Google has so much money that they're just what they're doing right now. They're pulling a room. They're pulling the what's his face where he's like, I'm just gonna
Tommy Wiseau.
He's pulling a Tommy. I'm just gonna build a console, and I don't care. It's going to be a bad script. It's going to be a bad look. It's going to be a bad everything. But just maybe there's a chance that the world will love it in 15 years. It's terrible.
It's rough, bro.
Yeah, no.
It's rough.
And
it's bad. It's unfortunate because when I first heard about them possibly venturing into it, right? Into gaming, gaming consoles, I kind of thought to myself,
what did you think to yourself?
Maybe this is good because if there was anyone that could possibly have the money to get into the market in some way, appreciable way, to just spice it up a little bit and not just have the big three and PC doing their things, it would be Google.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I also thought, with all of the designing and design work that they've done, maybe it would actually not be too bad. I'm really hoping that controller is not reality.
It's reality, Adam.
I hope it's not reality.
It's reality, Adam.
I hope that's phase 1. I hope that's like this was our first pass. We haven't finalized anything yet. We haven't really this is the first sketch.
Concept art.
It's concept. That's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
We don't know anything about how the system is going to work. We don't know if it's a box or anything yet. I don't think. We don't know if it's going to be like just a game streaming service, or what. But, yeah, it's.
Yeah, well,
it's something.
What it is.
It's something. It's pretty bad. But
What's next,
there's
Adam?
hope. There's hope.
Fuck Google.
There's hope.
Well, I should say fuck Google's video game.
Here's a
console.
really big thing, actually. Sony, there's a rumor going around that Sony is considering to buy Take-Two.
Okay.
Those are the folks that make Grand Theft Auto.
Mm-hmm.
Amongst a bunch of other stuff. Like Take-Two owns Rockstar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where Sony would get the money for that. That's a big purchase, but they're talking about buying it at the rumors are buying it at $130 a share. Steep. But that would be such a ballsy big money play if Sony goes in. I mean, Sony already is. I mean, Microsoft is buying up everyone they can get their hands on, but they haven't necessarily gone after
big dogs,
like the biggest ass fucking tuna.
They're not pulling a Disney.
No.
And buying up Fox.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If this is true and Sony says, all right, we could go and buy a bunch of small people and bring them in, have them make some games for us, but we already have a pretty good stable of ridiculously high quality video games being made for us. Exclusively, for all intents and purposes. Santa Monica Studios, God of War. Fuck. Naughty Dog. Double fuck.
We don't get enough Naughty Dog.
And then somebody internally went, what if we just bought Take-Two and we had Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption and, God willing, Rockstar Table Tennis 2? Because only the real motherfuckers know
That's a big buy.
about
That's
Rockstar Table Tennis.
That's a big buy. That's a huge buy. It'd be a very smart sell. It'd be a very smart sell. I mean, if Take-Two can sell.
I
mean, the amount of
people
money.
are saying that this already got shut down by Sony. I want to let you know that means absolutely dick right now. There have been loads of takeover, buyout shit that's been denied, and then it happens anyway.
Let's play hypothetical.
Let's play hypothetical.
Hey, that's what we do here.
That's what we do.
Whether it's happening or it's not,
Let's play some hypothetical.
play some hypothetical. Hypothetically speaking, Take-Two sold. Be a perfect time for them to do it because they're at a peak. And I don't think they go up from here.
I don't know how else they could.
I think they've peaked, and I actually think that they oversold, and I think Red Dead Redemption 2 was overhyped.
Still didn't stop it from selling like hotcakes.
Nope, definitely not. But I think that the properties are going to sell tons of copies in the future. But I think it'd be a perfect time to do a little outsy. We've made it. We've as a person who's built a business, and there comes a time for another bigger company to acquire you, and you can do it. You can get top motherfucking dollar. You do it. You walk away. You've won. You've won.
How does Microsoft come back from Sony owning Take-Two?
Well,
like how many good games
you
do
put
you
all
need
your
to...
games on Steam and you try and sell. You try and sell copies to everybody. That's it. That'd be a huge buy, bro. That would change
That changes the gaming market
would change
wildly.
The game, bro. Be a totally different. Like that's like changing the entire industry. To have something like that, the power that has, the amount of consoles that you would sell. I mean, it's big. It would be huge. So hypothetically speaking, that's exciting for games. It could also mean bad things because would the quality of the games go down? Would the marketing change? Would the vision change? A lot of things could change.
Man.
A lot of things probably would change.
I really don't know. Like, Microsoft's been buying some pretty good companies up. But, you know, they're not buying a heavy hitter like the parent company of Rockstar.
It's a big buy.
That is a does Rockstar try and buy themselves out of Take-Two before that buyout happens? Like, does Rockstar want to be caught up in that?
They'd have to be.
Unless they buy themselves back out again, like Ubisoft.
If they want to have their independence, then...
Because, I mean, think about how big the market for Rockstar games are now on the PC. It doesn't mean that just because Sony owns them, owning up on the PC, but there aren't a hell of a lot of Sony exclusives that make their way to the PC.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So, like...
Dude, if I was Rockstar, I'd just sell. I'd be like, take me. Take me there. I want to go there. Give me the money. Give me all of the monies.
Man, that would be wild. That'd be the biggest thing that's happened in gaming since Activision merged with Blizzard.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't think of a bigger...
It's almost at that level. It's not quite there because that was huge.
Well, one's a merger, one's a buyout. Yeah, so let's also put that in perspective.
That's true.
But
that's that too. But I mean, god damn. That changes like that's the type of shit where that's like if a Marvel movie, that's like if Endgame goes, all right, say Star Wars is coming out on Christmas, and then you've got Harry Potter coming out the next month. Then you've got this, and then Disney comes out and says, we're gonna put out, or James Cameron comes out and says, hey, we're gonna slap Avatar. We're gonna slap Avatar right in the middle of these two,
and they get dummied.
And we're gonna see what happens. At that point, Star Wars, Harry Potter, or whatever movies, they have to pull out. They have to change their whole advertising game. They have to look at changing dates. It just disrupts the whole motherfucking shit. And that's just like a weird analogy. It's actually bigger than that. It really is bigger than that. That could like win console wars. Well,
PS4 won. So Xbox won the 360 era.
Yes.
PlayStation
won this era
by
miles.
Miles.
Yes. I mean, this would throw this is basically burying your opponents.
That's not throwing a wrench in the wheel.
No.
That's nuking the wheel from orbit.
Yeah. That's like if Trump actually got his hands on some nuclear codes
and just pressed the button for fun.
Where's it going? That's what it is.
Is this my serve me a Pepsi button?
Yeah.
Oops. I nuked Europe.
Shit, I thought that meant to book me a tea time. My bad. That's what that is.
Damn.
It's crazy.
So that's a thing that's going on out there.
Crazy.
The Division 2 doesn't look like complete dog shit, Jeff.
It doesn't. I actually watched a little bit of it. It looks like more Division, man. I'm gonna be real.
Well, it's always gonna look like more Division.
Of course, it's Division, but it doesn't.
But does it look? I think it looks like it's doing Division better. The thing that I haven't seen enough of yet, and I probably won't see until the game's officially out and more people are playing it, is have they made the bullet sponge more fun? I know they didn't get rid of the bullet sponge because that's inherent to the genre, but is it more fun? Because Anthem fucked it, Destiny fucked it. Does the Division get the bullet sponge thing down? Does it happen?
I don't know. I watched about 10 minutes of it.
It's such a good looking game.
It was high octane. I mean, there was a lot going on. There was gunfire going everywhere. People were hiding behind shit, and poking out and shooting. Going crazy. It looks
good. It sounds good. Yeah. It plays well. It's just.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and hate on it
it's
because
just
I haven't played it yet.
Sponge.
It just the game doesn't excite me. It's not something that I feel like I need to buy and play. It's also very hard to get people on a game when they didn't love the first one.
Well,
it's
a lot of people like Division 1.
Yeah. But I mean the people that didn't really like Division 1, it's hard.
Will this win them over?
Yeah, it's hard to just jump into
I'm in that camp, right?
Yeah,
so I played Division 1, but I got turned off by aspects of it that I was hoping Division 2 would fix. And I don't know if that happened. And I don't know even if they did, if it would be enough to pull me in.
Listen, I haven't been hearing horrible things about it.
No, I haven't heard any really super negative stuff.
So
that's a start.
So that's a start.
Yeah.
It's better than what Anthem's doing. It's going to be more successful than Anthem, in my opinion, at least for Twitch-wise. We'll see if it continues to do well, like in terms of the word of mouth and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I mean, hey, I what I watched of it, I didn't hate it at all. I thought it looked like a decent time.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about it.
Exactly.
I haven't played it, so I just don't know.
You know what else apparently is too much of a decent time for some people, Jeff? Cocaine. It's a hell of a drug.
It's definitely, I mean, hey, I haven't tried cocaine.
I haven't personally been blowing rails or banging them out, but apparently,
Yeah. It looks like a good time.
at least until your heart stops.
That too.
Yakuza 4 got delayed because unfortunately the lead voice actor has a cocaine problem and it became publicly known. And as you probably know, in places like Japan, Korea, China, drugs of any kind, you get caught doing that shit,
It's bad time.
you might as well be dead.
Yep.
So that has severely put the brakes on Yakuza 4. And not only that, but he just so happened to also be the voice actor for Olaf in the Japanese version of Frozen.
Ooh.
So now Disney has to find
Fuck.
another voice actor for that.
Well, that doesn't even make any sense because Frozen 2 is like done. I mean, they I mean, I guess probably for foreign things they're probably working that stuff out now.
Yeah.
But damn.
Yeah.
And sucks to be him.
That's
to lose
rough.
all that work.
Dude.
Those are huge gigs.
Can you imagine how much money you make being a voice actor in Frozen?
Well, why can't he still do the work?
Because in Japan it's such a stigma
Yeah.
that like to keep him in would be a blow to Disney's reputation basically. Or
Okay.
any companies.
Okay.
So for example, just to tie this in, like even Reuters was posting about this right now, is that I found out about this because somebody else in my timeline talked about it. So weed is illegal in Korea flat out.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you get caught smoking weed, it's like you leave your job, you're fucked. Don't even bother. Drugs are bad, okay? So one of the members of a K-pop group called Big Bang, who are basically, if you want
I've heard of these people.
Yeah, parallel, would be the Backstreet Boys of K-pop. They've been around for a long time. People would look at them similar way. All right. The Howie of this group, unfortunately, wanted to live like the goddamn Great Gatsby, and has been for a long time. He has like his own businesses and stuff that he runs, and he was accused of getting prostitutes for clients to help his business, amongst possible rape-related things and some drugs.
Okay. The drugs part, I'm like, okay, but the other stuff,
So
a little fucked up.
even if you remove that stuff, there have been K-pop stars that have been caught smoking weed. Done. Contract over. You're out of the business. You're done.
Coming
so it's
to America.
It's a cultural thing.
I'm coming to America.
Coming to
now.
America, where I'm
Yeah.
smoking all the weed I can in Colorado.
And I'm making songs about it.
And making songs about it. So
Damn.
that's why it's a cultural thing.
Damn.
You know, somebody gets caught doing coke here in North America in the business. Everyone goes, well, what took you so long?
Yeah. I'd be surprised if you weren't doing coke.
Well, why weren't you doing coke before?
Yeah.
Are you really alive? Are you really acting if you're not blasted on coke?
Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, ask Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
The cream of the crop.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, that sucks for him because those are big gigs. Sucks for the companies because it puts them in a really shitty
Reuters.
spot.
Sorry, it's German. My apologies. I always get that confused. Reuters and Reuters.
Same thing.
My bad.
Potato, potato.
Probably a little worse than that, but
Tomato, tomato.
there you go. Yeah. Let's call the whole thing off.
Fuck it. Yeah. No, that's shitty. Because I was gonna say, because when you said he has a coke problem, I'm like, okay, well, is he like did he have to go to rehab or something, or this is just like, no, you're fired now?
Oh no,
because
his whole life is fucked.
well, we could move to America and become a voice actor here.
Well, currently he's going to be landlocked in Japan while he's under investigation. So
Over cocaine,
bro.
I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
Bro.
Come on,
It's different.
My Asian brothers.
It's
It's
different animal.
Sometimes you got to get high. Yeah, I was gonna say because what I was thinking was, damn, if he's not on cocaine anymore, maybe that was part of his characters. Maybe he only got into character when he was fucking high. It's like now that he can't get high, maybe those characters just aren't as good. There's a lot of artists out there that need to be drunk or they need to be high, whatever, to get their creative juices flowing.
Mark said, "Oh, I'm made of coke."
Yeah, it's just Now,
He's a snow. Do you want to build a snow, man?
Oh, he's high as fuck. Damn. All right. What's next?
Bring it.
While Adam's looking up the next thing,
Yeah.
Patreon.com/LegTV.
What is that, Jeff?
If you guys are enjoying the podcast, head on over there. Show
Yes.
some love.
Really?
It starts at just $1. The dollar menu.
Exactly.
On top of that,
Yeah.
you can submit StarCraft stuff. We are hard casting StarCraft.
$5 and higher, I believe.
$5 and higher. You can send in a normal game.
Yeah.
And these casts that we're about to do, there's going to be an easy way for you guys to submit. Instead of doing it through Patreon, you'll be able to just send us an email at lifesaglitchtv@gmail.com. And in that email, you just put in your replay and then put your Patreon username and how much of a supporter you are per month. And then we just confirm that you are who you say you are. And then that game can possibly get
Bob's
cast.
your uncle.
Yeah, instead of having to upload shit on Patreon because there's too many steps and people don't like reading directions all that much. So we had to bring it down.
Bring it down.
And bring it old school.
Make it simple.
That's all you need to do. Patreon.com/LegTV. And if you're watching this live on Twitch right now, there's 180 views. And viewership is starting to go up now that we've come over here to YouTube.
Of course it is.
It's great. Hit that like button.
Do it.
Because guess what, guys? In order for content to reach other people on YouTube,
especially outside of
our own community.
Actually, even to get this within the community, YouTube is set up in such a way now that you have to have likes before we'll even send out to your own community.
Unfortunately, we have to be those guys that
everyone
says,
else.
Could you take a moment right now?
We're just being real with you.
To hit the like button. It's crazy. If you can't afford to support us financially on Patreon, I think you can afford to hit the like button so that other people can potentially see this in their suggested videos.
If you can have a Coke problem, you can have an oops, I hit the like button problem.
That's it. Not asking for much. Just for our damn subscribers to be able to see our fucking content, because YouTube just does not want to, send the stuff out. So there it is. Just a quick little plug. Because why not? I got to remind these people every half hour. I'm doing it every half hour.
Oh, if you thought that Coke was a problem, what if I told you that PUBG would land you in jail too?
How?
Well, let me tell you. Over in India right now, there are, I believe, 3 cities, handful of cities, that for whatever reason, and I couldn't quite discern it before we scrambled to get live, so I'll give you the gist of it, and people can look into it further if they so wish.
Okay.
But I found it very interesting. Is that PUBG Mobile has been banned outright, to the point where if you're playing that shit and you get caught publicly, you will be sent to jail and
in China?
This is in India, in a couple of cities within India.
Damn.
And if you get caught, you get a court date. Excuse me, and you're going to jail.
Why?
I could. That's the part. There you go. I've just teased you. Now you get to go look it up. I can't. I looked. I tried to speed read because we're running out of time. I was trying to speed read the article. It was the last thing I have on our list.
Well, we'll talk more about it next
if
week.
I can find more out about it. But the other thing that I spotted, though, what I did manage to pick up on it was that the ban is oddly, from what I understood from the article, the ban is oddly only between March 9th and April 30th.
That's India. What's going on, man? Like, what's going on?
So I'm not entirely sure.
Just a temporary jail ban.
Some kids got nailed for it playing it outside the police headquarters.
Oh, they're getting brazen.
Let's
go to the police headquarters and just go on my iPhone X.
It's people doing coke on next to them.
Yeah.
But those guys are doing PUBG.
Get the PUBGers.
Get the PUBG out of here.
And get that coke out of here before I arrest you.
Flick it up quick.
I'm gonna confiscate your phone. You better not have that app installed, or it's over.
You're going to jail now.
Fuck.
Oh my
crazy.
God. So yeah, that's a thing.
That's crazy.
There was another one that was called Momo Challenge, which I don't know if
Momo.
it's
Yeah.
is also banned.
Yeah, dude. I told you about Momo.
You told me about Momo.
That crazy, creepy looking thing.
Freaking weird.
Telling kids to go kill themselves and to hurt their parents and shit.
PUBG Mobile and that gone. Specifically between March 9th and April 30th.
After April 30th, download. Damn.
The Purge.
Jesus.
So yeah, that was a thing that happened. Just wild. Mr. Black.
Yeah.
Hit me up with the sound of finding out that Johnny Depp wasn't the one swinging.
What the fuck? What? Swinging what?
Fists!
Oh.
Did you not hear that he's been accused for like a while of domestic abuse?
I heard about this.
Okay, all right. So, as it turns out, maybe you didn't hear about what just happened more recently. No. As it turns out, it wasn't Johnny throwing fists, it was his wife.
Oh, yeah.
And in no small degree, Johnny came out hard. With so much evidence. Like,
we have a videotaper and shit?
There's video.
Audio.
There's audio. There are multiple depositions by people. The whole nine. Pictures. She almost cut his pointer finger off. There's a picture that ended up on Twitter. Literally, you're seeing Johnny Depp's pointer finger fucking 3/4 cut off. Pictures of him with black eyes.
Damn, that bitch is crazy. Yeah, because I heard about this,
and apparently it was all a ploy to further her career by getting her name out there in it's a negative positive, all press is good press type shit to get her further up. She's the one that played, what's her name? She's Amber Heard. She was the girl, I think the girl in Aquaman, the redhead chick from Aquaman, if I'm not mistaken.
What? That's his woman?
Like, look it up real quick. Amber Heard, as in Heard.
She looks crazy too. Oh, fuck. Is that her? Is that the Aqua? It is.
It is.
Oh, damn. Johnny Depp is smashing that?
Yeah.
God damn.
Also, if you look at a picture of them standing next to each other, I totally understand why Tommy Wiseau wanted him to play Tommy in this movie, because I'm pretty sure Tommy Wiseau is trying to dress like Johnny Depp all the time. It's dawned on me with all the chains and the belts and shit. That's what's happening. But look at those pictures. If you see them like pop up, the finger, just put in like Johnny Depp finger. I want to see the face that comes out of that one.
Johnny Depp finger. This must be right here.
Oh, it's blurred out. What the fuck? Yeah. Yep.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
He's got some dirty fingers too, though. What the fuck was he?
Well, what the fuck does he use? Well, Yup. Yep. That happened, bro.
Shit.
I don't know what she came at him with.
Shit. And I heard about this story like a year ago when Johnny Depp was under investigation for domestic abuse.
Yeah.
And she was going on and saying that, he's a drunk and he's which he probably is.
And people were believing her?
Yeah, because she was like, he spends $30,000 to $50,000 a month on wine.
Yes.
And he drinks, like, he's got a wine cellar, like bottles of wine.
Dude, Joe Rogan talked about that shit on his podcast for hours.
And she was going on and saying that once he gets drunk, he just turns into this violent and he's like angry about his career and how people are perceiving him and stuff. It turns out this bitch is crazy. Damn, this might actually hurt her career now. With Aquaman 2, Aquaman 2 got announced.
If this doesn't end her career,
I don't think it'll end it, but it'll hurt it. It'll hurt it bad.
Dude,
Damn.
There's a picture of him with a half lopped off finger, black eyes and shit. People like talking, like depositions, audio, video, the whole 9 yards. I think she's even admitted to some of it. If that doesn't fuck her up, I give the fuck up, because we've got dudes who are getting crucified over the possibility of saying something in a little bit of dark humor 15 to 35 years ago. And their whole careers get fucking nuked from orbit. And if this woman, in the midst of all this bullshit, comes out after it wasn't like this just came out by itself. She first tried to spin it as if he was the abuser.
Well, yeah, because
to further herself.
Because there was audio. I remember listening to audio where her and Johnny Depp were arguing, and she was acting like in the video that she was the victim, which was probably smart editing, like, cutting out, only putting in part of the situation. You know what I mean? Where you only get one side of the story. You don't get. And Johnny Depp hasn't really said anything. He just denied, all these allegations, and that was the show. But now he's out with all. I'm gonna have to read into this because it's the first time I'm hearing it. So I'm gonna have to go and I haven't seen it on any of my new movie related podcasts and things that I watch. So, wow,
yeah, dude,
crazy.
That's the thing. So that happened. The Avengers Endgame trailer. Did you see it?
I did.
How did you feel about it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
We got to see that Mark Ruffalo is alive.
Yes. Yeah.
He's also on the poster. It was funny. He put out a hilarious
Was he
tweet.
supposed to be dead?
I don't know. I don't know if he was one of the ones that was like being
so.
guessed at in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I don't think he's the one that disappeared.
But he, because I couldn't remember if I saw him at the end of the other one.
Yeah.
But he put out a really funny tweet where he put out the poster because they released the poster or one of the posters, and he was like, "Thank God I'm not fired." And there he is, like on the poster.
Oh, that's because
was that like a Spider-Man like
thing? him and Tom Holland are notorious for accidentally
leaking stuff.
Yeah, and then it becomes a meme where they pretend like they're leaking stuff, but it's not real stuff. So now it's just this running thing that's going on. Endgame looks great. I mean, the Russo brothers said that all the trailers that you've watched, it doesn't show anything beyond the first 20 minutes. So you're not getting any clips from anything that's deep into the movie.
Yeah.
I think there's and the Avengers and Marvel in general are notorious now for tricking people as well in the trailers. So they'll digitally remove some people. They'll digitally add people. They'll add different backgrounds.
Well, they have to at this point.
Yeah, because everybody it's like Star Wars. They'll dissect every little. It's like Game of Thrones,
frame
too,
by
right?
frame,
frame by frame. And there's people that this is their life, and then they'll spoil what's going on, right? So they just throw all kinds of just random softballs, and people get little pieces of stuff, and then at the end of the day, people that have been part of this like cinematic universe at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're going to see this movie. At this point, they're not selling anything.
Yeah,
they're just saying it's coming. They're just letting people know it's coming. Get excited. It's not like they're going to be getting any new or many new people that are going to be coming in. Everybody's on board for this now. This is it. I mean,
it's the end game.
This is the end game. This is the end of Phase 4. This is the show. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
It was an exciting trailer. They didn't show too much. I liked they showed some of the stuff in the past, and they're kind of bringing it all forward. I'm just pumped. I can't wait.
When does that drop again?
I think it's May. First week of May, I want to say. But yeah, and I think Game of Thrones comes out mid-April, and then like 2 weeks later or so, Avengers comes out. But yeah, it's going to be awesome, and rumored about 3 hours too. So
damn,
whoo, gonna be great. Can't wait.
Buckle up.
What else was there? Man, there's been a lot of movie-related news that came out this week. Did you hear about the scandal with some of the movie stars paying off the colleges or the big universities? You had to have heard about this.
I need you to finish your thoughts, so maybe I do, because I'm not getting enough context now.
Okay. So the dude that plays in Shameless, the main drunk guy that plays in Shameless, he's well known. I forget his name. Something Hoffman.
26th of April, apparently.
Of April. Oh, well, there you go. But anyway, so the aunt from Full House. I'm gonna have to look into this. Full House. I think it's Aunt. Full House star. This chick. This girl right here.
Oh,
that
yeah. Uncle Jesse's wife or whatever in the show. Yeah.
I forget her name. I think it was like Stacy or something. And then also her husband, along with 30 other people. And I'm giving a rough April. There is that. Oh, sorry, you guys are Aunt Becky. That's it, Aunt Becky.
Aunt Becky. There you go.
So her husband, a bunch of other elitists in the Hollywood world, in the sports entertainment or in the sports world, all kinds of shit. There's this massive scam ring scheme that they are paying directors of these universities. We're talking Stanford, Yale,
Ivy League,
all the big motherfucking dogs.
Okay,
they're paying off all the directors and people that are decision makers to get their kids in the schools. And essentially,
that's been happening forever, not just by movie stars.
No, I know. There's like 30 people that got arrested. It all happened, all went down. Basically, their daughters and sons and shit, they're paying anywhere from $250,000 to one of them was $6.5 million.
Were they a fucking idiot or something?
To get their kids in school. So what they're doing is they've got the people that take the SATs, they take it, and then they're doing these loopholes where if you have some sort of disability, you get more time to finish it. And then within that time, they had super smart students that were also being paid to correct any mistakes and get their grades higher than submitted. This chick, Aunt Becky from Full House, her daughter got put onto some sort of sports team and had never played the sport in her life.
Just a bench warmer, but that was her in?
That was her in, and they took like fake photos of her playing and all this other stuff and snuck all their kids in through all this stuff. And then her daughter was on Instagram not long ago doing a little Instagram thing talking about how she's excited for the parties and things like that, but she doesn't really care about school all that much. And people were like, whoa, wait a second. And then in the background, she's got all of these like sponsored related things, like they're sending in like on her walls. She's got like basically advertisements on her dorm walls and shit. And
social media really is the pit of the fucking.
Oh yeah, bro.
Dude,
this shit is fucking crazy. Like we're talking like high profile people. And when the news came out, her daughter was on a yacht of one of the directors of the high end school. On a yacht, I think it was her and her mom, and then they had to leave and fly home and then turn themselves in. Most of the students knew that this was going on. Some of them didn't. And we're talking like high end designers. They got their kids in, basically buying the elitist, like the elite, the super rich and wealthy, buying in their kids in these schools, and they're dumb as a fucking doorknob, just so that they can have better education, have better opportunities when they come out.
Better piece of paper, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're idiots. It's not like they're going to fucking do schoolwork when they're there.
Exactly.
They're going to pay for everything to be done while they're there.
Exactly. But then when they get out, they have the paper
from Stanford
or Yale or whatever other big time school.
Well, I mean, this has been happening
forever.
Huge
ring, bro. The dudes were setting up charities under the school, and then they would make donations to the charity, and then they would pocket the money and divvy it out to all of it wasn't like one or two people. We're talking like many different departments in the schools were all getting chunks of cash, and these motherfuckers were paying out hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars to have basically just to buy their kids in. And now people are obviously going crazy because they're like, what the fuck? My son or daughter couldn't get into the school because it was full, busting their ass because there was no room or whatever. But yet people are in here buying their education. And it just goes to show, right? And it just adds fire to, I was watching The Breakfast Club today about this, and they were talking about how, kids that are coming up out of the hood and shit like that are told, like, just work hard, follow your dreams, put in the work, and sure, you may not have the privilege like, the rich,
but you can get there.
Yeah. But it hurts that argument when spots, and God only knows how many, and for how this obviously has been going on for probably since the beginning of time.
Yes.
But now it's like it even further adds that privilege, that elite.
It's another one of those everyone knew it was happening.
Yeah.
But now somebody got caught.
A lot of people. Yeah.
And now it's a problem. It's everyone already knew.
Yeah.
Like nobody was sitting at home thinking that coincidentally every child of these actors were just magically geniuses getting into all these Ivy League schools. Yeah. Nobody was sitting there thinking that. Some of them, sure.
Yeah. No,
but the majority of them,
when you homeschool them and they're going to the best schools and getting the best education, but when they're just, and you could see her daughter too, good looking chick, of course, she got good genes, got good looking parents, but just dumb as fuck. Just one of those kids that just looks like it's been handed everything in their life.
Because they probably have.
They have no appreciation for... She's literally sitting in one of the top schools in the country. She was bought her way in.
She was on a yacht hanging out for a while.
With the people that they paid off.
Exactly.
Anyway, so that's big news in the movie business right now.
I mean, but it is,
a bunch of stars, man.
It's I want to get angry about it, but it's like, what are you going to do about it? Do you think this is going to stop it from happening? No. It's going to keep fucking happening.
Yep.
I mean, even without the stars being there, there's always a bias of who gets in and who gets out.
Of course.
If you're a prominent family, you get in. If your father or your mother were graduates of it, if it was their alma mater or whatever, like, then you're going to get in.
Yep.
More likely.
That's the way she goes.
Because you're like part of the fucking lineage.
Yeah, and that's what.
And people were getting upset with. There's actually a college called Morehouse College, same last name and everything is like same spelling as my last name. And coincidentally, it's a black school. It was started by a white guy.
Your great
forever ago. I don't even think the guy was white. I looked into it because obviously it was the same last name, and I knew it was a black college, and so I was like interested. Like, I'm not aware of any
do I have
black relatives. Like,
right
I'm not aware of any black relatives, right? Unless they married in. So I was wondering about it. I looked into it a bit, but there was like a lot of controversy about. There are white students at Morehouse College, but there's controversy obviously about the fact that they're even there in the first place because it has been so centered around it being a black college. And so that kind of concept that exists everywhere.
Yeah.
In every school.
Yeah.
You're going to have leanings one way or the other.
Yeah.
And a lot of it though is usually money.
Yes.
It's who's got the money.
Status, money.
Who's got the status.
That's it.
Who do we want to have on our list of graduates?
Yep.
That's who gets in.
Yep.
So, that's going to continue to happen, and people can bust your ass. White people, brown people, black people, yellow people, green people can all bust their ass.
Don't forget the blue people.
The blue
the
people.
Avatars,
Magenta. But you're not going to get in if somebody with a shitload of money and status is ahead of you in the line, no matter what color you are. It's just the way that it is. So, it's a big thing.
It's a
gong show.
It's a big thing that's going on. There's a lot of people that got arrested. There's a lot of money. that was thrown around. So we're probably going to hear more about that as the days and weeks keep going.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, and what else was there? I thought there was another big news in terms of movies, and I just can't think of it right now. So it is what it is. Movie news. Thought there was one other important thing, but maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. All right, no, I think that's the show.
That's about it. Great.
That's all she wrote.
Awesome. Mr. Max was blank.
Oh, we saw Captain Marvel.
Holy crap!
How do we forget?
Well, because the movie was forgettable. That's the answer to that question.
Yeah. So after last week's podcast, Adam and I went to the movies.
Yes.
We went and saw Captain Marvel in IMAX.
We did.
We sat 2
from
rows
the front. We got all the IMAX experience.
Yeah. Good thing it wasn't terrible. Like, my neck was starting to get a little salty.
My neck was a little sore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, movie. Oh, man. As I was watching it, like when I left the movie, my initial reaction was like, it was okay. I was impressed with some of the special effects that was in there. More so the de-aging technology. I thought that was impressive.
And then the last 15 minutes where they spent
all of their budget.
Yeah.
But obviously we won't spoil anything for those that didn't see it. But my overall reaction, and listen, I'm a Marvel fanboy. I go to all the movies. I stick up for Marvel. I know there's a lot of controversy right now over Captain Marvel and Brie Larson's whole feminist type thing and the words that she was saying, and then how Marvel was marketing this movie and so on and so forth. I can put all that behind me because I really just don't give a fuck. I'm there to go see a movie and have a good time. I really don't give a fuck. So that didn't weigh on my mind whatsoever in terms of me trying to not have a good time or me trying to have a good time. I just left the movie feeling like it was the second worst Marvel movie, maybe third worst Marvel movie I have ever seen in this whole cinematic universe to date. The only ones that I could think of that were worse than that for me was easily Thor: The Dark World and Iron Man 3. Those are the only other Marvel movies that I liked less than this one. This Marvel movie felt like a Phase 1 origin story movie without the heart or the budget. I thought some of the story in it was cool because I didn't know anything about Captain Marvel. So there was some twists and turns within the movie that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Because I didn't read the comics, I didn't know, which I thought was interesting and cool. But then, other than that, I think Brie Larson is not a good Captain Marvel. Not saying that I know what the character's like, but she didn't do it for me. And she's a phenomenal actress. I've seen her in other pieces of work that she's done. Has been great.
I like her as an actress.
So do I. I think she's gorgeous looking. Yeah. I think, she's got acting chops. I don't know if it was the script, the direction. I don't know what it was. Very well could have been the script. We'll see in Endgame because we've got the Russo brothers that are going to be directing her, which if they can't get a good performance out of her, then we just know it's her. Because the two directors that directed Captain Marvel don't really have a great resume. And the movie felt like anybody could have directed it. There was no style. There was no real substance. It didn't feel like it stood out to anything. It was flat out boring at times, where there just wasn't much happening. A lot of the relationships felt really forced because they were trying to cram in an origin story, especially with her black friend. I wasn't really, and it wasn't because the black friend wasn't a good actress. I thought she was fine. I thought the daughter was good. In fact, I thought she performed better than Brie Larson did.
Yeah.
In many scenes, but I just wasn't feeling their forced relationship, and I wasn't really feeling their connection as a friend. A lot of it I just really wasn't feeling. I'm just gonna be honest with you. The fight scenes were horrible. The hand-to-hand combat stuff, it was a lot of shaky cam. It was a lot of like really close-up stuff, so you couldn't really see what was going on. And her shooting plasmas out of her hands are cool the first few times you see it, and then it goes, okay, what else can you do? Like it was like seeing the same sort of things over and over and over again. There was no real epic piece. There was no real big antagonist where you were just like there was no stakes involved. Like there was no nothing that got me really overly invested. I never felt like Brie Larson was any real trouble. She's supposed to be the strongest person in the cinematic universe that we've seen to date. And although she was just coming into her character and getting to know her powers and being unleashed there, even when she was unleashed and she turned Super Saiyan and things like that, it still didn't feel all that impressive. It didn't, we watched Thor ignite like a dead star and shit. Like we've seen him take a star to the chest. We've seen him, do what Thor does, and he feels stronger than what she does. And in fact, on the Endgame trailer, for those that didn't see it yet, and I'm sure a lot of you have, we do see Brie Larson and Thor have an exchange at the very end. And even when he does it, and Thor doing Thor and his charismatic self, and it's funny and it's great, Brie Larson still, her character just doesn't. She looks snotty. Well, you know what I see? And I don't even really want to say it because if I say it, it might ruin it for you guys in terms of how you view her. She reminds me of Ronda Rousey, but a better acting Ronda Rousey. But when she's in the character of Captain Marvel, it just feels like Ronda Rousey if she took a little bit more acting lessons for the next year and became a watchable movie star. And that's all I see. Like I see the same pouty, angry face where there's really just, this look of, I'm an angry female and I'm strong. And, I just, there's something about Wonder Woman that was charismatic and innocent and strong and powerful and captivating. It's complete opposite with Captain Marvel. Maybe that's her character. I don't know, but I wasn't feeling it. I thought Samuel L. Jackson was fine in the role. There was one thing that happens to his character, Nick Fury, that's a really big deal. And I didn't like the fact that it happened like that. And those that know what I'm talking about, it has to do with another side character, with a cat. That was great in the movie, but even that shtick got old after they did that same shtick 3 or 4 times. It was funny and great the first time I saw it happen.
And they did it in the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah, and then they did it again, and it's like, is that the sword we're gonna die on here? Like, okay. But something happens between those two characters, and I'm like, really? That's that's the explanation. That now I just can't even look at Nick Fury the same way anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's what I got in my head. It's like, Jesus, man, that's the best you could come up with. The more I think about the movie, the more I really don't like Captain Marvel. And there was some redeeming qualities to it. It's a fun time in the movies if you're seeing it on a big screen. If I'm watching it on Netflix, man, I'm really not having a great time. Because I don't have the big screen and the loud explosions and all this other stuff. It's a convoluted fuckery of mess. And I would say, I didn't hate it, but I would say it's a 6.5 out of 10. And it's really disappointing because I just watched a DC movie by the name of Aquaman, where it was a dumb fun ride. It wasn't a perfect movie, but it knew what it was. It was a good time. And we had James Wan, who gave us these beautiful, wide action set pieces that went on for long periods of time. And you could see everything. There was none of this shaky cam, like where there's a million cuts and, they're literally, doing a flip and they're like, cut. And then they'll show path of the flip and then they'll show the landing. We got to see like full blown set pieces of just beautiful. And then you go and watch something like Captain Marvel. After we've got Avengers, after we've Infinity War, after we've got Black Panther, and we're about to get Endgame, which is going to just top it all off. And I feel like we've just taken like 2, 3, 4, 5 movies back in terms of quality. And I really wanted to get hyped off this movie going into Endgame, but instead I just left going, The best part of the movie, or like the part of the movie that hit me the most and it was serious and got me amped, was the fucking credits. Was the post-credit scene where I watched them do their thing, and I was like, okay, now we're watching Marvel again. Right? I felt like this, like,
there was some gravity to it.
There was some gravity to it.
Yeah.
There was some meat to it. It counted. It was almost like watching Captain Marvel was like watching non-canon stuff. And you're like, okay, it's like fanfare. It's like you're watching non-canon, then you watch the canon, and you're like, yes, give me the shit that really counts. Give me the stuff that matters. That's how I felt with Captain Marvel.
I felt very similar to the movie as you did. So I won't try and regurgitate absolutely everything, but like the main takeaway from it was one, as much as I like Brie Larson, I think she is not the actress for Captain Marvel.
I agree.
I don't think that it was just because the script was kind of mediocre, because let's be honest, the script was at best mediocre. I think it's just that she's not built for that role. I don't think she can project Captain Marvel. And if she can project Captain Marvel, then we didn't see it in this movie.
And it could very well be the directors.
Maybe.
But we'll see. It's going to boil down to what she's like in Endgame. If
the shaky cam thing honestly comes across to me as they're covering up for the fact that Brie Larson can't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's rare that there's an actor that can go out there. You don't see Keanu Reeves go onto a screen and have a bunch of shaky cam.
Yeah.
You do see that with Liam. I'm 487 years old and on my 17th Taken movie.
Yeah.
Neeson.
It goes two ways. It's either that or it's the incompetence of the director on how to properly do an action sequence, because you can make the argument that they have stunt doubles.
Here's my other thing that I thought about as well.
Yeah.
Because I want to say this again. I like Brie Larson as an actress. I think she's great.
Yeah. And she has moments of good in the movie.
There are not very many.
Not many.
The other idea or other thought that I had was we saw a lot of stuff until the last 15 minutes of that movie where the special effects looked like some shit from like a decade ago.
Seriously.
And I want to say that there's a possibility that some of the shaky cam shit was so that they didn't have to dump as much money into special effects.
It's possible.
Until they really needed to do it.
She's a special effects heavy character.
Super
sure.
heavy. Especially
when she gets into her powers.
And the end
that
game
last 15 minutes was
of that movie.
Yeah, it was a nice feast on the eyes.
There was a lot
of shit
going
to
on.
see. It was cool.
So that might have been part of it too. But my heart tells me it's just because Brie Larson wasn't ready to do unbroken wide angle fight scenes. But yeah, and again, the writing was mediocre. I thought that I agree that I think that her friend actually acted better than she did most of the time.
Yeah.
With what they were given, I feel like her tone throughout the movie was odd in a way that you could see what they were trying to, and that might be the director, where they're trying to get a certain tone out of her, but because of who she's playing against at the time, it doesn't play like equally across the movie. You get like these weird fucking like jumps in tone, or like dips in tone, where everyone else in the scene is on a different fucking page, and not in the kind of way that like Deadpool does it, just poorly done.
Yeah.
It's just
I
kind of
know what you're saying. Yeah.
And other than that, you know, I went into the movie expecting that it was going to be kind of hit or miss anyway, because I can't think of very many origin movies that aren't that way, because they're up against the clock in getting an origin story in, and this is a particularly difficult one.
Aquaman was good.
This is, well, true, but this is a movie that is building directly into inside of like a month and a half of Endgame, and she plays a prominent role
apparently,
in Endgame. So there was a lot riding on this that had to tie to Endgame, but also build her character out and make her a character that people wanted to give a fuck about before Endgame shows up. Did they accomplish that? I'm not entirely sure.
Well, they made a fuck ton of money at the box office.
They did, and that's fine.
It's a big success.
I will talk about the imagery and shit in the movie though.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, it was so blunt. It was so obvious that it wasn't it actually distracted me a little bit. Even in stuff that was supposed to happen really fast that you wouldn't really pay attention to, that were supposed to probably be kind of like funny moments. And in ways that would almost have made more sense for Wonder Woman to have those things, where she comes from an island of all women. It almost makes sense. There's the scene that I'll reference that means absolutely nothing. She ends up in a blockbuster. I think this might be in the trailer.
It's in the trailer.
And she blasts the head off of the guy.
Yeah, from
I can't remember the movie.
Was it True Lies?
Something like that.
I think it was True Lies.
And it's on screen for like 3 frames.
Yeah.
But it was still super obvious.
And she picks up the movie. What was the movie she picked up? Which was also
there was another really obvious play. Everything
yeah.
in that blockbuster scene was really like manufactured.
Yeah.
And in a way that didn't feel like a Captain Marvel thing. It felt like just, we're going to use the fact that Captain Marvel is female to do this shit.
Yep.
And you could tell that they tried to make it humorous, and maybe it was, funny for some people, but like I've seen some women talking about it in my community that were like, yeah, it's a little much. Well, and then there's sometimes people were looking a little too deep into it though. Like
there was a lot of that.
There was a scene with Sam Jackson at the end where he's getting scanned, and the comment about him, and you probably saw people talking about that scene, and I looked at it and went, no, that's
it's a bit much.
We're reaching a bit
and
much.
Also it was a duo director, so there was 2 of them. One of them was female, of course. And this is the part where I go, I'm not totally over Captain Marvel yet, because I'm gonna wait for the Russo brothers to see what they do with them. But these 2 directors, really, I went on both their IMDb's. It looks like they've worked on pretty much the same stuff together throughout their entire career, all of it. They really have nothing. I mean, they literally went from directing TV series of Billions, the show Billions, The Affair, The Big C, I don't even know what that is, Room 104, into directing Captain Marvel.
That's elite.
So it makes a lot of sense to me that maybe they don't know how to direct Brie Larson. Because I refuse to believe that Brie Larson does not have the talent to play a character like Captain Marvel.
Exactly.
She looks the part.
We've seen her do so well There's no. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I still think she needed a little bit more time.
Probably.
In the combat role.
Probably.
But
and it also adds to the fact that maybe these people just cannot direct action because it was sloppy action, bro. I swear to God,
it was really sloppy.
And I'm not even saying this. I really feel like I could have come up with better action set pieces than what these guys did. And that's and I'm not even saying that as like a fucking straight up.
There was a lot of like, oops, I didn't know I could do that yet.
Yeah. It was a lot of fish out of water.
It was just
the whole fish out of water thing where
exactly.
it's like, So we're gonna see. We'll see what the Russo brothers do. Overall, it wasn't a great time for me, but it was an okay time. It wasn't like a fucking horrible movie by any means. Just a little bit of a letdown because everything has been such quality. And to go to this is just it is what it is.
Yeah, it was neither great and it wasn't complete garbage. It was just middling in a way that is forgettable.
I just wish that a lot of these companies would stop. And this is going to sound bad because you would like to have up and coming directors have a chance to prove themselves, work on big budget stuff.
Always.
But man,
I feel like there are still better choices to be made there.
There are what like pay the money, man. You're Marvel. Like it's not like you can't afford to pay a director $7-10 million to get the job done right. I know the Russo brothers can't work on everything. I know James Gunn is not great for your reputation or whatever, Disney, even though you have a horrible past yourselves. I know that you can't, but Jesus, man, like if you got such a big movie, like just put some fucking people, like let these guys work on something on your Disney network or let them prove themselves before you give them such a huge undertaking. Like I'm happy that they're taking these chances, but I want to say they're doing it because of money. They don't want to spend the huge sums of cash to get so-and-so do it because honestly, this movie was directed by basically two nobodies. I'm sorry. And on top of that, there is no style to this movie at all. There's no thumbprint on there. You watch a Russo brothers, you know it.
Generic.
You watch a Zack Snyder movie, you know it. You watch a Nolan movie, you know it. You watch a Tarantino movie, you know it. You watch anybody that has you watch a Cameron movie, you know it. You watch a Lucas movie, you know it. You watch a whatever movie, you know it. Especially these big budget. It's like watching a default, safe, by the book, nothing special, not horrible, but yet it's a monumental first female-led, but yet you won't give us a Black Widow movie? And this is what we're getting, and before Endgame? Come on, man, step it up. Step it up. It was fucking 2019, man. I shouldn't be comparing this to the Dark World. Sorry. Anyway.
So Captain Marvel, we're gonna hope that the brothers can pull this back in Endgame.
Oh, they're gonna pull it back. I got full faith.
Make the magic happen, Mr. Black.
Yeah.
Hit me up at the sound of tech support.
Tech support.
Volkus asks, do you think that because my Master Chief Collection is coming to the PC that it's the first sign of Microsoft giving up on the console wars?
I'm gonna say no. I think this is more of a submission to doing everything they can to save the Halo property. Because there's nothing in the rule book that says, hey, Infinite has to go on Steam. And there's also nothing in the rule book that says, hey, if Infinite's going on Steam, maybe they have plans for all these other companies that they've bought out with all these other exclusives that are going to be potentially coming out for their console. Maybe they want to give the exclusivity shine, so to speak, to these other titles to make them feel a little bit more special, and let everybody play Halo no matter what device that they're playing it on. I think it's a smart move. I don't think that this is a form of weakness in terms of them dropping the ball. I mean, they're already they've already hit bottom. So I think it all depends on what they do with the next console and with the exclusives that they announce when it comes out, because they bought, like we talked about before, so they've got a lot of great indie or smaller developers coming in, potentially making games for them, and we'll see what happens. And even if Infinite comes out and it's on Steam or whatever, it doesn't mean that in the future, assuming if Halo gets big again, that they can't go back to exclusivity or exclusive for a period of time, which I think is what is likely going to happen for Halo in the future. But who knows?
Yeah, I don't think it. I think the question would have been probably better if it was, do you think that Master Chief Collection coming out on Steam is the first sign of Microsoft giving up the console wars? Because having your first-party titles show up on Xbox, but also on Windows, which is your platform anyway, I think that just makes sense.
Yeah.
And it opens up more people in your market to make more money off of your shit.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what Steam does. It's just a ballsy move because this might be the thing that kills off your own storefront. Maybe they don't want to have to do that anymore, even though it's going to cost them money. Somebody might have ran the numbers and said, "Hey guys, look, if we put it out here,
we're going to sell
this many.
This much.
It's going to make up for the fact that we're paying Steam X percentage, and we don't have to do all the upkeep over here."
Yep.
Maybe that's how it goes. Maybe this is them testing the water with it. It's an older game. It's not a new release. It's going to do fine either way. See what happens. See how it plays out.
Yeah.
But they're not giving up on the console war. They're forever going to be up against Sony, battling it out. Nintendo is doing their own thing. Nintendo doesn't compete with Microsoft and Sony, so they'll be okay. I think this is just them realizing that for a long time. And mostly because it was too difficult to port stuff to the PC until the consoles were x86 based. They were basically losing money. They could have had more games, not every game, but they could have definitely had some releases on the PC earlier. And now this is them getting into it, and it's been doing them well. I mean, they're obviously expanding their market. So. It'll likely do even better for them. But this will really Steam sales for my Master Chief Collection. Everyone's going to be wondering in the industry, how does that play out?
I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to sell a fuck ton of copies, and it's going to be like having a cocaine addiction in Japan.
Probably.
And they're once they have a taste of it, they
It's
can't
game
stop.
over.
No matter how much they know this could be detrimental to the look of what they have. Played by the chest for so long.
Exactly.
But now, though, I mean, it's changed, bro. Steam is massive, and now you even got Epic. You've got other
you have options that you don't have to personally be involved with. The only thing you need to be concerned with is what does the association with these people look like to your customers.
That's it.
If you can get that far, and Steam is a safe play.
Yes.
90% of the time.
Yeah. Nobody really complains that shit goes on Steam.
No.
People complain when shit's not on Steam.
Well, that's actually one of my biggest gripes with people complaining about Epic is that Steam has and continues to do just dog shit all the time. And they just forget about it.
Yeah, of course.
It's just whatever. Yeah. They don't remember, or they weren't there for when Steam was just brutal and just did all the wrong things. But they were the only ones really doing it big, so people stuck it out, and here they are. And now Epic is making some mistakes, and they're like just cramming it, and go like, Steam is the fucking promised land. And you're like, bitch, do you not remember that we just had to talk about the fact that they couldn't even denounce a rape game, for Christ's sake? We're not talking about a company that's just the gold standard here. It's just your ass has a fucking $78,000 library from all the fucking Steam sales that you've bought over the last decade, and you don't want to leave the platform. Just own up to it and fucking leave Epic alone while they figure their shit out like Steam did for over 10 years.
Yep.
Let it happen. Shady asks, Adam, what is Jeff's worst habit? And Jeff, what is Adam's worst habit? Jeff just got out of his worst habit 3 seconds ago and is putting on a pained face for it. He sits on his goddamn knees all the time.
Yeah, I know.
And he has terrible knees. They're almost as bad as mine.
My left one's probably worse.
His left one's already fucked because he blew it out.
I'm gonna need surgery for sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Yeah. I have to go get an MRI done. I'm gonna have to pay for one privately because I'm not waiting 6 months.
It'd be a while.
Yeah.
So that's your worst habit for sure, without question.
Adam's worst habit. Fuck. Jeez, that's a tough one.
I know what I consider my own worst habit to be.
Okay, well, I don't know if I consider it a worst habit. I guess it's more of a pet peeve.
Okay.
Than anything.
Okay.
Adam has a tendency to overanalyze or overcomplicate simple things.
Oh, I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
I'm
So
fantastic at that.
so you know, I don't know. He's a perfectionist to the point where he gets in his own way.
I definitely do that.
Yeah, I would say it's not really. I guess it's really not. It's not a bad habit.
It's not a habit so much as it's a personality disorder.
It's a personality. I wouldn't call it a disorder, but
it's a personality. It's a quirk.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I think my worst habit is I have a habit of getting interested in something, starting it, going ham on it for a while, and losing interest in it and moving on without finishing it. I'm really bad at finishing something. I get bored of it and I move on, and that's the show. And my stream community would know this because I have a habit of starting into something like a project on stream, and then I can't do it. It just bores me to death, and then I move on to the next thing.
See, I'm like the opposite. When I latch onto something, I just fucking go ham.
I do that, but then I get
bored of it, or you lose interest, or
like
there's
I lose
something
interest.
else that you're like,
As soon as I learn everything that I want to learn about the thing, I lose interest. The moment I stop learning when I'm doing something, I stop giving a fuck. Which was why when I was in university, I had to try really fucking hard in classes that I had no interest in, because I would get ahead of the class a little bit and I'd already know what was going on, and then studying was a goddamn nightmare fuel to the point where I would forget shit because my brain was like, you don't need that information. Get that out of there. And it happens like even still to this day where like I'll start a new project, I'll spend hours and hours learning about it and then loving the process of learning about it and getting into it and starting it. And then as soon as I'm like done learning and I'm just going through the motions,
that's it.
Get me the fuck out.
Damn.
And that's my worst habit.
Damn.
It's my worst habit.
Damn.
Let's see. StarCraft Lover asks, topically, what sort of stuff would you like to see in StarCraft 3 if it ever comes out? For example, swipe left to attack, asking for my friend David Kim.
We have to say
Poor
yes
David.
to one of these, or
no? He's just asking if hypothetical StarCraft 3.
If StarCraft 3 came out,
what sort of stuff would you like to see?
It's not going to happen.
No,
ever.
StarCraft
as we know it
is done. Packed in.
That's it. What we have now is what we'll
You'll get a
always have.
StarCraft 2 remake about 15 years from now,
Possibly. If there was, hypothetically speaking, if there was one, I would want a fourth race. Switch things up. I think that's the only play that you go at this point. Adding in another 1 or 2 units is not enough. You can literally do that by not coming out with another StarCraft and just adding a patch, having an expansion, because you're basically just making a newer. It's like going from StarCraft original to Brood War. You know, it's
exactly.
I don't need a new campaign. I just need my multiplayer to feel fresh every 12 months. So that I feel like it's not stale. So yeah, I think a fourth race would turn everything upside down. I don't know what kind of race it would be. Maybe another type. I think probably the easiest route to go would be another human type race.
Yeah.
Maybe off another planet, but maybe there's some sort of story where, you know, some of the Terran people went to another planet, got caught there, started up their own thing, and after generations and generations, it was their goal to come back to Earth. They come back to Earth, and Earth treats them like they're aliens, like they're not. There's something different about the humans, but they're similar, speak the same language, maybe in a little bit different type of dialect.
Sort of like, you know, human. So an offshoot of humanity that went to go find another place to settle. What if they found remnants of another race that isn't of all the other races, but it's an advanced race, and so it's the Terran alien race hybrid technology.
There you go. Yeah,
that
like
makes it different from regular Terran stuff.
Yeah,
something.
But
that
I
mix
was
it up.
yeah. So that's a cool idea. So still human, visibly human.
Yes.
But a much more advanced technologically.
Yeah.
You know, they might be part cyborg. They might, you know,
something going on.
Something going on. and the current humans here on Earth treat them like they're aliens, and the aliens spent their entire beings, their entire since they've been inceptualized, trying to get back home. They consider Earth home.
Yes.
But they've lived somewhere else, and they finally had the technology. They finally did it, and then when they got there, they were greeted like they were enemies. And then they go, "Oh, we're enemies, are we? You know, we thought that we would come home to open arms, but you're treating us differently, and now there's a war there, and now there's a fourth race." I think that would be cool.
Yeah, no matter how you slice it, I think the game would need another race. There's no two ways around it. I think it needs another race of some kind. And I would like to personally see, and I mentioned this about StarCraft 2 as well in the past, is I would, not that I expected to make it into StarCraft 2, but I would like to see the maps that you play on have environmental impacts on units. So high ground, more damage, for example, depending on some certain units. Terrain that they're crossing, they're faster, they're slower. Are they going through water? Are they on ice? Do certain units like have
Wonder if there was a weather
a
system.
slide? Yeah, there's like some sort of dynamic. So map dynamics, beyond just here's some rubble, you kill it, it falls over, and you can crush units. Yay! Woo! So map dynamics would be the thing that I would want. Other than a race, I would want map dynamics. Now, to the degree in which you have that, would be difficult because it makes balancing even harder. And we already know how much of a bitch it is to make people happy with balance. But with map dynamics, some people might give them a little bit more slack because there's so much more dynamics going on that it might be harder to spot the imbalance in the first place. People might just accept the fact that they got caught out in a bad spot. And it's not, it's not as bad. Hard to say, but that would be what I would want to see, because I think that takes the RTS core that StarCraft has already got on lock. They've already nailed it. They're the best in the business.
Yep.
If you're going to come back and do another one, you got to evolve it in some way, right?
Yeah.
And just adding a race isn't evolving it. That's just adding another race. So let's take RTS to a spot where it's, something changes, right? So that would be my thing.
Okay. All right.
That would be my thing.
You excited for this Warcraft 3? You going to get that?
I already own it. I bought it just because I want to support it.
Yeah.
I doubt I'm going to play a lot of it. I'm going to be interested to... No, it's not out, but you pre-order it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't pre-order it.
And then watch... And I'm interested... I want to watch and see how the content creation around it happens.
I'm
I'm going
to grind the fuck out of Frozen Throne.
Bring back some undead play.
I'm going to grind the living fuck out of Frozen Throne. And what I'm praying into the gods... into the absolute gods. And there is a chance, I'm telling you, there is a chance that Warcraft 3 could be almost as big as StarCraft 2 is right now.
I think it's got a better chance of being bigger than StarCraft 2.
I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to get too carried away.
I'll do it.
Okay.
It's going to be better.
Yeah.
It's going to be bigger.
It's going to feel fresher. It's going to be better.
I think it's an easier game for people to watch, and I think it's more exciting for people to watch.
Not only that,
and that's going to carry
Not
it.
only that, it's got MOBA elements to it to some degree with your hero.
That's where MOBAs were born.
So I think that's going to capture some of the MOBA people.
Yeah, some crossover.
It's not as mechanically crazy as StarCraft 2 is. There are don't get me wrong.
I think it's different.
It's different.
So StarCraft is more macro. Play.
Yeah, this one's very micro intensive.
And Warcraft is micro intensive. So you're spending a little less time
building
in the
up
macro
and,
side. And it's much more intensive in the micro side.
Yeah.
So the control of your units in StarCraft obviously always matter.
Yeah.
But they matter a lot more
because
in Warcraft.
you typically don't have a 200 army.
No.
You're playing with much smaller amounts
and when
units.
you lose a unit, it is
crippling. I'm gonna play the living shit out of it for sure. It's probably will be what I'll play full time, absolutely. But what I'm hoping is it does well and we can make content for it, because we both played a fair amount of Warcraft.
It's been a hot minute, but yeah.
I think that there is a whole new when cheese fails that can be done.
Oh, don't put that out in the air.
But it's true, because there are cheesy builds. It has a replay system. It's an RTS. That's it. Like it's That's it. You, instead of cannon rushes, they're doing like the things for the orcs where you're rushing the towers. You know, there's so many different cheesy elements and things that you can do, like crazy cheese play that you can do with your opening heroes. Like going in and killing off fucking workers and doing all kinds of crazy shit. That it's essentially StarCraft, but in a whole different universe. That's what it is. It's literally what we've done, but it has an opportunity to become popular again.
You know what you sound like? You sound like every goddamn person in the YouTube comment section whenever we don't do whenever we don't do StarCraft content is just bring back When Cheese Fails. Well, just make it happen.
But
why don't you do When Cheese Fails but League of Legends? Hey, why don't you do When Cheese Fails?
Can you imagine?
But Realm Royale.
When Cheese Fails, WarCraft 3. Orcs, elves, or night elves, or whatever the fuck they are, and
night elf mohawk
and undead. Boom.
I love me some Warcraft. I'm not gonna lie. I think Warcraft 3 is a better game than StarCraft.
How fucking funny and fun would it be for us to cast normal games of Warcraft 3, and we haven't played fucking really any of it since we were 15 years old. It would feel like us casting StarCraft 2 again for the first time.
Why do you want that?
Yeah, because it's fun. It's fun. It's not taken serious. It's fresh, and it takes you back to the good old days, man, where it'd be just dumb fun. It'd be like, what the fuck is going on here? Okay. I've never seen this before. This shit's crazy. You know? Yes, absolutely.
Oh, tied to that, Gownson asked, would you rather see Warcraft 4 or StarCraft 3 released next?
Warcraft 4.
Warcraft 4.
All day, every day.
I'll be honest, like I just said, I'll be honest with you, Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne is the best RTS ever made.
Yes.
I'm putting it over Brood War. I'm not going to get on Brood War's train just because Korea fucking rode that off into the sunset. I think Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne is the best competitive RTS ever made. And it's not because people first reactions as people might have would be, one, they either think that Warcraft 3 is way easier than StarCraft to play, which it's not really the case. It's just it's a different difficulty.
It's different.
It's a different
They're both fucking
thing.
hard.
They're both a really hard thing to play.
They're both hard. Hard to play at a high level.
Let's put it this way. People were losing their minds when they saw Warcraft 3 players come over to StarCraft because of the APM that the Warcraft players brought. 400 to 600. It's not that Warcraft is an easier game. It's just you're doing different shit that might be harder for some people, might be easier for others. RTSs aren't just because of mechanical difficulty for how good is this game. How difficult can it be while still being a good game? I feel like that's why people put StarCraft up there. It's so polished and it's also the hardest game ever made.
It's chess. It's the chess of video games.
It's 3D 400 IQ chess. Brought to you by Seoul, South Korea. Warcraft 3, this is why I think Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne is better, is that it gets to what I consider to be the fun part of RTS, which is the combat. Who the fuck, if I wanted to just play Macro Simulator, I'd play SimCity. Just build buildings and like manage routes and where they're gonna go and how they're gonna get there and shit. I want less of that. I want more of what am I doing in battle and how much better am I strategically in battle on the fly with units than my opponent. Not just how fast can I macro this shit up.
There's that in StarCraft, but you're also dealing with, there's a lot, yes.
But it's a more macro level.
Yes.
There are very few...
Playing Warcraft is like playing Protoss. You have to use, or playing Protoss early game, you have to use your very little limited units to the highest of your ability. If you lose any of them, there is no room for error. There's no real grace period. There's no like really coming back. You really, really, truly have to macro or micro
every unit
because, and it's nice because you might only be dealing with 30 units, right? On a really good battle.
Yeah.
And so you can physically micro almost 30 units. it's a beautiful game.
But here's where I'm getting at.
Oh.
Is that not only is that why I think it's also better, is that I also think it becomes better at that point because it's RTSs, at least now, and even back with Brood War, was about the competitive scene, how watchable it is.
Mm-hmm.
StarCraft is watchable on a high level if you just go in and say, this guy's got to wipe this guy.
Or you watch us.
Or you watch us.
Yeah. You watch us, but there's entertainment
exactly.
value
There's
to
entertainment
it, right?
value to it. It is easier to understand, in my opinion, what's going on in Warcraft 3 than StarCraft from a viewer's perspective.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a visually, not just in terms of graphic style, but a visually more entertaining game to watch, which makes it a more viable
It's exciting.
esport.
It's exciting even in the beginning because you're going out and you're creeping. So just like League of Legends, you go out and you kill camps to level up your hero.
Yeah.
And so you're doing that and your opponent's doing that. But are you going to meet your opponent in the middle of the map or find each other at a creep? How many of them can you kill before you have to go back and heal? You know, and then you get your ultimate, so to speak, with your with your heroes and stuff. There, you know, there's actives, and then you've got your own army and your base, and you're expanding, and it's just it's an awesome game. I cannot wait for it to come out. I'm just pumped for it. I hope it does well. I hope that you and I can figure out something unique and fun to do it and bring the casual people and have fun with them with it. Because people like Grubby and stuff are going to be awesome to watch. Rotterdam's going to be amazing to watch. Play that game at a high level. There'll be a great little, probably an esports section to it as well, which will be phenomenal to watch.
I just want to see some little grassroots tournament stuff crop up.
That's it.
And
it doesn't need to be a massive game.
No.
It just needs to be competent,
and it won't be
fun.
because it's not what people want on Twitch right now.
Exactly.
And that's fine.
That's fine. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. In fact, I'm pretty optimistic about it. Not even cautiously so.
I think it's going to be great.
I think it's going to be great.
I think it's going to be great.
And I think it's going to do, obviously, a lot better than the Brood War remake because they kept it so close. It was basically a carbon copy of the old school because of Korea. And sure, it was cool to play it on the PC and the 4K and stuff and play a couple games online, but then you realize it's still Brood War. At least what they're doing with this is they're updating mechanically bits of the game. It's not going to be like it was for Brood War, from what I've been told, where they're actually going to change a few mechanically things to bring it more up to date. It's going to look obviously a lot better.
Yeah.
It'll play better. So if they can do those things and make it feel of old but of new, I think we could have a hit on our hands.
I'm really pulling for it. I might be projecting a bit, but I really think that it's going to do well. I really do, and I hope it does. I
don't even care about the single player. I'll play it.
Single player I also think is like Warcraft 3's single player campaigns. You know, that and Frozen Throne, I think, are the best.
I think the stories are better. I think the stories are better. Yeah, it's more. It's
they're
more,
really, really.
I also find the stories
good.
a little bit more mature and just better. You know, but I'm rooting for the multiplayer. That's what I want in my life. Even the custom games in it are so much fun. All of it.
Will Hawkins asks, "Who's your favorite video game protagonist who's not white?"
Who's not white?
I don't think it has to be necessarily the lead character. It just has to be a protagonist of some kind.
I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to think of that's not white. That's a tough one. I'm trying to think of games that
I'll give you one that's a main character, and I'm going to give you one that is topical for what we talked about today. That isn't a main character, but he's definitely a protagonist.
Okay.
I'm going to say Faith from Mirror's Edge.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is one.
Yep.
And then my follow-up to that is Sergeant Avery Johnson from Halo.
Really?
The Black Sergeant.
That's in every fucking
he's in like every Halo,
every military game essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
He plays like the same fucking dude in every game.
Well, he smashes it, bro.
I really like your Mirror's Edge pick.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
You know, the character, that character is sexy. She's
She's a strong female role that doesn't beat you about the head with the fact that she's female.
Yeah, she's not over sexualized.
Her story is interesting, although I wish they had better writers because I think that they're not doing that game justice or that series justice. But I like her as a character. She's a good character.
I'm gonna go with man, the Mirror's Edge one is really good. I'm trying to think of games that I've played, that characters that really stood out.
I mean, the majority of them are white. That's a problem.
And that are protagonists. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a lot of antagonists that aren't white that do a great job, but in terms of protagonists, I'll go with Barrett.
That's a good one.
From Final Fantasy VII.
Yep.
I mean, he is big black dude. Always liked him a lot.
Yep.
I'm trying to think outside the box for another one. Fuck. Another crazy character. Man, I almost want to cheat and say Mirror's Edge as well because what's her name? Faith, right?
Faith, yeah.
She is really a fun character.
So many of them in video games that end up being protagonists who are either female or would be considered not white end up being alien.
Yes.
It's not super common for them to
it's either that or Asian, right? Like if you're
Asian,
playing some sort of, you know,
because there's a lot of developers in Asia or they're playing to a really big market,
and a lot of
them
are Asian actors playing white American characters or a mix of, you know, Asian American. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say Barrett because when I first experienced Final Fantasy VII, Barrett was one of those characters that I related to because he was black.
Yeah, of course.
So it was like, you know, it was like I'm being represented in a video game. And Final Fantasy VII was one of those games where I was just old enough that I could understand the meaning behind that. Where games really started to mean something to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, derp, I'm going to put on Super Mario World and derp, derp, and have fun and, you know, do some platforming. We're talking about where I'm old enough to understand story, where I'm old enough to be reading dialogue and taking the time to sit there and read it and get invested in the characters. So I would say Barrett. I also really liked Red 13 as well, which is, you know, a dog.
Yes.
But I'm going to go with Barrett. That's it. And Faith.
Somebody else was saying C.J. Johnson.
Oh, from San Andreas.
From San Andreas.
That's a good one.
It's a good pick.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Fat CJ or skinny CJ?
Skinny CJ.
All right.
Yeah, skinny CJ.
Cutting back on those burgers.
Cutting back on
them. Let's see here. We're getting down to her.
By the way, if you guys want to submit questions for next week's, all you need to do is become a Patreon supporter.
Yep.
Link,
$10.
$10 or more.
Yep.
Link is in the description of this video. Also, when you support, not only does it help us continue to do these, but it also opens you up for StarCraft content that you can submit if you want, or you don't have to.
Yep.
It's up to you. So yeah, patreon.com/lagtv. Link is underneath. Head on over there. It starts at $1 and goes all the way up to an obscene amount of money, which I think I think we got rid of the
we got rid of all of the obscene
big
stuff,
ones, right? So it goes to 100.
Yeah, we simplified it.
Which is still pretty obscene, but
We simplified it.
yeah, it's an affordable obscene.
It's true.
Instead of 500.
It's really obscene.
That is, we love you, but
blatantly insane.
yes.
Last question. Going to come in from Kalutzi, asking, what would you do for the rest of your life to stay active if you wouldn't have to worry about money, and why?
Like as a job? Or
just in general, maybe. I mean, you have to do something. It might not end up having to be a job per se.
Yeah.
Some people still need to absolutely work a job to keep themselves sane. Other people are happy if they're just active in some way.
Well, for one, I would travel.
Yes.
Fairly often.
Yeah.
But that would probably get old. Like if you're doing that constantly, and you only can see so many places. So I would say if I was active and money was not an issue whatsoever, like if it was like what the fuck ever, I would need to work because I feel as though if I don't work, I would go fucking mental. So I would probably stay in the entertainment business, but I would probably do something on the lower end like radio, where I can still have a voice, where I can still do me, but I wouldn't care about the money.
Yeah.
And it's something that I would only have to do so much per week. It's like I'll go in there, do my thing, and then get the fuck out. That's probably what I would do. That's what's coming to my mind right now. I would not play video games. I would play video games, but I wouldn't be doing
That
what we
wouldn't be
do.
the thing,
Like this
no.
wouldn't be the thing.
No.
You know, I wouldn't mind doing the podcast, you know, something like that. But
Sure.
that's not going to keep you busy for the rest of your life.
No.
You're doing this once a week.
Yeah.
It's like
You gotta have something
You got to
more
have something
consistent.
that you're kind of
Actively involved with daily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'd say right now because it'd be easy. Either that or actually, you know what? I'm going to scrap that. I'm going to do voiceover. That's what I'll do.
There you go. That's
How did
why
I
you're
not
doing
think
that
of-
right now.
How did I not think of that? Yeah, well, it's still kind of radio, but I would do voiceover. I would just keep doing the commercials, and
Yeah.
when work came in, it came in. I'd try and get some. I'd be more about trying to get the cool gig.
Yes, then it would be about just doing anything.
And for those that don't know that are watching this, I just finished recording my first video game gig yesterday.
Frag out.
Yes, I'm gonna be playing in a. I found out what game it is. I'm not allowed to say what it is until they're done everything. But I am allowed to give hints. It is a first-person military shooter that is pretty well known, that is highly ranked and well received, and I'm playing a corpsman, like I'm actually called a grunt / infantry type guy.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah, and I actually think that I'm going to be a playable character. Like I haven't been told that, but judging by my lines,
Seems that way.
I'm either a character that you can play as, or I am definitely a voice that you're going to hear a lot during your playing experience. So that happened. It's all
Which is
done.
pretty awesome.
I sent it in. They said fantastic. I had 7. How many words? I think it was 700 words.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is military shit.
Screaming.
Yeah, a lot of. I did a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
So I only could do so much per day. But then there's your standard. Affirmative. Those
the
those type
usual,
of not screaming, but
Yeah.
And what I did to get into character is
Oh,
I
boy.
played all kinds of war shit in
the
my
background?
headphones.
Yeah.
So there was shooting, blowing, explosions, people yelling, and I'm like in the middle of war, right? And I'm in the booth like fucking Kayla was telling me she knew I was recording for the game because she just hear me
Just hear
fucking
you
scream,
screaming,
like
yeah.
screaming for a medic and all this other really crazy shit. But once I'm allowed to tell you guys, I'll let you know. I'm definitely gonna play because
You got to play the game you're in.
I got to play the game I'm in. But it was a cool experience. I sent it in. I even went above and beyond. So I had all the lines. They only asked for one version. I gave them 5 to 7 versions of every line in all different inflections. So we're talking, because I told them, and I said, for one, I want to give your audio engineer lots to choose from.
Of course, yeah.
But then on top of that, if you didn't want it to feel so repetitive, you can have a different sort of command that plays when an action is done. So if I'm like, frag out, I might say it differently, right? Lots of swearing, which was awesome. And he even told me, like, in the script, there's tons of swearing. So I'd be like, fuck, I'm hit. I'd be like, fuck. Oh my God. I'd be doing all kinds of crazy shit. And then he was like, if you want to improv some cussing, you can. So it was a lot of fucking fun, dude. I can't wait.
Your mom's a whore.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, dude, it was awesome.
Kelly Clarkson.
Pretty much, bro. It's there's a lot, man. I sent them probably I would say 20 minutes of audio.
It's a lot of audio.
Yeah. So a lot of lines. Can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Fantastic.
And it sounds dope too. Building that fucking vocal booth, I could scream at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
And it sounds like fucking sex, bro.
I told you.
Sounds like I'm in the fucking studio of Pixar.
I told you. You didn't believe me at first.
Oh, I'm a believer.
Now you're a believer.
I'm a believer.
The Morehouse and Sons sound booth design.
Fuck, man, it sounds good.
In a similar vein of just talking about that kind of shit, and the chat reminded me of it, is Brian and I played Rogue Warrior on the weekend.
I saw that.
That is a bad video game. Mickey Rourke is the voice actor
Damn.
for the guy.
So they used all the budget on Mickey Rourke.
Everything got spent on Mickey
Isn't
Rourke.
that game like 10 minutes long?
It's like 3.5 hours long. You can speed run it in about 17.
Jesus.
And I want to let you know right now that some of the greatest voiceover lines in the history of video games are uttered in this game.
Great.
For example, your intel was bullshit, Captain. It's a goat fuck out here.
A goat fuck.
A goat fuck.
Okay.
There's something about him stretching his balls over somebody's mouth at some point.
Okay.
It's like sucking my balls, my big hairy balls, wrap them around your mouth. It's Mickey Rourke is saying this shit.
Damn.
It's some crazy shit, man.
Damn, they went crazy.
You might want to play it just for shit. It's like $3 if you can make it work on your computer, which took a while for me to do it.
No.
There's a clip of it. You can see it. You can just go like I'll send you the clip of that scene because those two voice lines happen one after the other.
What is it called?
Rogue Warrior. You definitely do not own Rogue Warrior. There is no way. It's an Xbox title.
Oh,
I don't think it was on anything else. It might have been on PS2 and obviously PC. But dude, it's bad. I'm not joking. There was a fuck counter, and by the end of our playthrough, Mickey Rourke said fuck 137 times.
Damn. That's a lot of fucks.
It is a great script, let me tell you.
That is a lot of fucks.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a rogue. Oh, I don't think I have a Rogue Warrior.
Rogue Warrior is it's a special game. What happened was the company that was making it, Square Enix, published this shit.
Damn.
So when you boot it up, it kind of sends you for a trip because it sounds like you're booting into a Final Fantasy game, and then it's Rogue Warrior.
Awesome.
But at the end credits, what really makes it special is that at the end credits, not only do they have the game is a fucking meme. The end credits, Mickey Rourke's all of his lines and shit. They have like a rap of all of the lines in the game.
That play through the credits.
That play through the credits.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it's fucking incredible.
Yeah, so they know they've been trolling.
Well, the game got Square Enix put it out there. Developers were working on it, just about finished it. Square Enix didn't like the direction, axed everything, and then they had a year to do the game. And this is what happened. Mickey Rourke in Rogue Warrior.
Let's fucking go.
It's a goat fuck.
Let's fucking go. How much were you paid to play that shit game?
$600 US.
They pay me. You pay me half of that.
I got half and Brian got half, right?
Oh.
So I got personally 300.
Okay.
And Brian 300.
Oh, I can't do it for 150. I do it for 3. I do it for 3.
It was impressive.
That's about $100 an hour for that game.
Let me tell you, it was something to write home about. Okay. So definitely worth the dollars, I'm sure. The guy who paid for it paid all for himself. It's Hunter. And he said it was some of the greatest money. He felt bad because it kind of fucked my computer. Like the game actually fucked my computer up a bit. It's like low key malware.
just fucking everything. Mickey Rourke in the credits going, "Hey, I just fucked your entire computer."
Like it was weird. The game would like do some weird, crazy shit, and then I had to force close the game, but it would like take over your mouse, so you had to do everything with your keyboard. And then when I went to go try and watch a YouTube video, it looked like the video, everything, the site loaded, everything's fine, but as soon as you went to press the video, it was like the fucking Matrix. It was
Rogue Warrior, bro.
Weird. So there you go.
You weren't ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a long podcast.
Yeah, it felt long.
We ran that one. I think 3 hours almost exactly.
Jesus!
We went the distance. Getting your money's worth.
On Patreon.
For those of you who are on patreon.com/lagtv, getting your money's worth. But that's going to be it for this week. We're going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for those of you who are showing up here and spending time here on YouTube. Hit the like button if you haven't already.
We're at 140.
It really does make a massive difference if you hit the like button. It sounds stupid, but believe us, YouTube has changed the algorithm so many times in the last few years that there are some really specific things. Hit the like button, and then the other thing is hit the bell icon if you want notifications for any videos, any podcasts, whatever. It's the only way that you're guaranteed to get...
Which is fucking stupid. Why would you subscribe to something
if you don't want to hear about it? Because it's YouTube. So you gotta... In the past, we've probably asked you to do something else to get notifications, but YouTube changes it once every like fucking 6 months. So right now, it's hit the bell icon and then hit the like button. Goes a long way. Hopefully you guys had a good time. We will see you guys next week. And until then, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening.